Yeah, yeah. Making her way to the mic. They start dimming the lights. You start feeling alright. From Birmingham, home of the Teddy Longs, and the room is stutters. More once you discover. For all of the lovers, Whitney Houston and Roman Reigns. For all of the lovers, and Mickey James and Marvin Gaye. For all of the lovers, and Sasha Banks, Janelle Monáe, Silk, Sonic, and Paige. Allow me to say, look, I just found a place, sweet escape. Every one of us, I was kinda late, cause I just made it off the struggle bus. Walking by the fate, cause I know it's right in front of us. Yo, I ain't with the hate, gotta focus on what's great. Ladies and gentlemen, Steph Hardy is on the air. Had to drop a couple bars just to make you all aware. So, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. You know I go by Joe or the rest of the flow, yeah.
Hey y'all, welcome to a brand new episode of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast with your girl Stephanie Hardy, the host, founder, creator, and her of this amazing show, co-host of Steph and Cat Talk Wow, which is on hiatus for right now, but that show will be back fairly soon. And of course, commentator on various promotions, but will be featured at Retinal Pro Wrestling at their obligatory 3rd year anniversary show this Friday in Birmingham. And of course, I'm so happy to be before you on this Wednesday evening, this Wild Out Wednesday, where we are talking about WrestleMania. But thankfully, I'm not alone. I am back with my co-host with the mostest, Bianca Addison. We are reunited and it feels so good. How are you, Bianca?
Feels so right, girl. Happy hump day. Happy midweek service to you all. Oh my God. Happy Mania week to you all. I'm excited. I am blessed. I am highly favored. And yeah, we have a lot to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It's been it's been ignorant in the world of wrestling. A lot of drama, a lot of things to talk about. But yeah, overall, I'm very excited. It's WrestleMania week. We were talking earlier. It snuck up on us like it snuck up to us really fast. It was like yesterday that we were staying up all like for like an hour listening to Triple H in his Hall of Fame speech.
Mm-hmm.
From that time till now, it's crazy how time flew so fast. But yeah, I'm well. This is my favorite month. This is my favorite pay-per-view of the year, and yeah, I'm just very excited for this weekend, despite everything that has transpired the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, a lot has transpired, but the one reason I wanted to do an episode this week was because of the fact that I wanted to sort of start off talking about joyful moments that WrestleMania has brought to both of our lives, because we have mentioned, since you have started hosting, how certain WrestleManias are very special to the both of us. And then, of course, because I started watching wrestling a little bit before you did, there's a lot of great moments that I did want to highlight and mention and just talk about and enjoy, because WrestleMania is also my favorite PLE / pay-per-view. It became my favorite, I would say around 19. I did not watch WrestleMania 19 live. I watched the DVD after the fact because my dad purchased it. And so just getting to watch the grandeur and spectacle of that one, because it was in Safeco Field in Seattle, Washington, where I have relatives. Shout out to them, my auntie and my cousins. Getting to see that grandeur and everything just really exposed me very early to how amazing WrestleMania could be. So it's a very important event to me, and it's also important to the lifeblood of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast as well, with being able to attend last year as media, and just being able to attend various other ones as well that we will get into. But to start the show off, I wanted us to share our top 5 with some honorable mentions WrestleMania moments. Because, of course, if you were to have a top 10 or a top 15, we would be sitting here for hours and hours and hours. And, we don't necessarily have that type of time. But I wanted us to discuss, just some moments that we hold very dear and near to our hearts when it comes to this time of year, because it's a spectacle. It's the show of shows. It's the showcase of the immortals. This is our Super Bowl. And because it's wrestling fans, it's Super Bowl, there's so much love and so much passion that, brings all of us together, whether it be wrestling fans that are just casual, who had
Yeah.
not watched in a while, but are still exposed to everything due to the nature of wrestling fans being all over the place. You can't really escape them this time of year. Or the diehards like us who watch it all the time, every week, day in, day out. We're a part of the culture. Or, just anybody who just want to be curious and just look at it. WrestleMania is a great uniter of various people, of cultures, backgrounds, fandoms, all the things.
Yeah.
And it can be a very joyful experience. So I wanted us to discuss our top 5 moments first. And because this is Bianca's first Mania season with me, we are going to start with her top 5s first, and then we'll go into mine. And of course, if you are watching us live, thank you guys so much for watching on all the platforms. And if you, have any moments you want to share, feel free to comment and share your moments, and it might wind up on the screen as we go along. So yeah, Bianca,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
am so happy to start by talking about this moment,
Woo.
which is also very special to me as well, and also the lifeblood of the show. You said an honorable mention for you was Bianca Belair versus Mercedes Moné, known then as Sasha Banks, in the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania 37 in 2021. And this was, of course, the first time that Black women ever main evented WrestleMania. This was Bianca's, not really her very first WrestleMania, because she had been a part of the women's battle royal at the one in New Orleans, the last one they had in New Orleans years ago. But this was her first solo match at WrestleMania. And, she won the Royal Rumble, got to face off against Mercedes Moné in this historic moment. But specifically, you mentioned one particular part of this match that you really loved as an honorable mention. So share that with everyone.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Let me pull up my notes so I don't miss anything. So I taught my honorable mention was this match, but more specifically, the part of before it's before the match.
Mm-hmm.
When they yes, when they were staring at each other and the pop of the crowd, it just kept crescendoing, and then as it got louder, the tears just kept flowing. Oh my gosh, and they kept nodding at each other. Oh my god, like breaking character, being themselves, just like saying to themselves telekinetically, we're making history. We're here. We did this. We are those girl. We are that girl, and we made it. And talk about representation. Talking about opening doors, because like this being this being the first that Black women are main eventing a pay per view PLE a, a an event that is viewed around the world
Right.
globally, and Black people are in the main event and center stage. Like what? Come on! Like I'm trying not to cry. I'm like laughing. I'm like a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
Um, and all the Black Biancas who had a dream. Oh my god, I remember tweeting when I was 17, I want to be a diva so bad. And tweeting at Stephanie McMahon, I want to be a diva. I want to be a WWE diva. It's my biggest dreams. I was 17. And that dream of being in the ring, well, is is still there in the form of ring announcing. So like I can still fulfill that dream. But like being an employee, seeing this woman, seeing this her skin color, sharing the same name as me sharing the same name as her, sharing the love for a business that we all hold dear to our hearts, sharing that in common, and being of color. And oh my God, like I can go on and on. And Mercedes Monet doing her thing. Oh my gosh, like ah, and then
Yeah.
that match just so cool. And Bianca's reaction when she won. Oh my God, when she screamed and went to her family. Oh, I love that's what I love about WrestleMania. That's what I love about WWE. I love the real moments. I love when moments are I love when we see authentic moments. I love when we see who they are as people. Like I love when we see their families and love just being in the front row and just and her dad, or was it her dad or Montez Ford? Shout out to you. We miss you. Um, um, one of them was carrying her on
It
top
was
of his shoulders.
Montez.
Okay, Montez carried her on his shoulders with pride. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's an amazing moment for
Yeah.
sure. It's something that I made mention of when I was working with Daily DDT a few years back, and I wrote an article about Montez Ford and Bianca Belair when they had that reality show, and he lifted her on his shoulders after she won the SmackDown Women's Championship in this match. I felt like that was low key akin to when Macho Man Randy Savage
Mm,
uplifted Miss Elizabeth. And of course,
oh
I know
God.
their relationship was different, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's still a WrestleMania moment. And just the idea of the emotion, like you mentioned, the authenticity of all of that alone,
Yeah.
um, is what makes this moment great. Aside from the match already being spectacular in and of itself because of how excellent these women were and how they performed, the emotion surrounding the importance of it and the authenticity of that is something that rings true forever. Um, it's just, I'm so happy to have experienced this. I was a year and some change in to
Wow.
being a wrestling journalist, to a degree, a podcaster, and to see this, I was a part of a watch along, and to see this happen, it was very beautiful, and I didn't cry until the very end. So like I held it together on camera until Bianca won, and I just started sobbing because I just could not believe, what I had seen. And I had watched this match back so many times. But I love the moment between Bianca and Mercedes just looking at each other, knowing that this was a glass ceiling that they were breaking.
Yeah.
And I will always be grateful for that. There are Black women who are new to the business, or who are at least fairly new to the public when it comes to wrestling, who, cite this match as their inspiration. And it's beautiful,
Yeah.
and it always will be beautiful. And I'm so happy that you chose this
Yeah.
as a part of your honorable mention. So
So,
yeah,
yeah,
and
I couldn't leave it out. I couldn't.
of course not.
That wouldn't feel right to me. And you mentioned the moment between Montez Ford and Bianca Belair, and comparing that to Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth. Oh my God. Whew. So when I watched every single WrestleMania last year, I watched that WrestleMania. And when that moment happened, the tears that streamed down my face. Oh my God.
Yeah,
That
it,
was
it
one of the most beautiful, raw, emotional moments I have ever witnessed as a wrestling fan. Oh my God. Wow. I didn't know that
yeah.
they were actually a couple.
Yeah, they were a couple. And then of course, it had everybody in the crowd invested as well, because, Macho Man had really started smelling himself as the king of the ring. And, he was he had sensational Sherry, by his side, and Elizabeth just couldn't take it anymore, and she was kicking him down, and
Hmm.
and Miss Elizabeth lifted him up and took him back. That was just a very, very heartfelt moment in the lore of WrestleMania. So when you think about couples, you think about them too, and it's just that looking at Montez and Bianca as a beautiful couple in that way, and seeing him support her in that way, it was very important. Even though you didn't see it on screen, you saw the
Right.
pictures later.
Yeah.
And it was just very beautiful. So there was
Yeah.
a lot of authenticity, a lot of love all around for this moment. And it's something that Bianca continues to cite even as Mercedes has moved on to other great ventures elsewhere.
As she
Bianca
should,
still cites this as one of the greatest moments of her career.
and she
And
can
I
tell
love that.
kids, and
So
she can tell
we
her
love
kids.
it. Oh yes, absolutely. Because Black history is something that's important to Bianca as well.
Yeah.
So it was just all fantastic. So I'm happy you chose this.
Thank you.
So moving on to the proper number 5. This is one that's special to the both of us for various reasons. Your number 5 was WrestleMania 27 in Atlanta. So I'll talk about how important this is for me, even though this is your moment. It's important for me because even though critically a lot of people say online that this is one of the worst WrestleManias that's ever taken
I
place,
can't bring that. I don't like that.
um, I don't like it either because this was actually my very first one, because this one took place in Atlanta, Georgia. And of course, for those who are new to the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, I am from Birmingham, Alabama. I'm from the South. And if you're from Birmingham, Atlanta is historically just 2.5 hours away. So when they first announced that this was going to be in Atlanta, me, my dad, and my sister were like, we were all in accordance that we were going over there. That's the closest WrestleMania has been to us, next to Florida and also next to New Orleans. So we were
Mm.
just like, okay, so we're gonna go, we're gonna go, we're gonna go. And this was also the last pay-per-view and actually the last event I was able to go to before I graduated high school and went to college.
Oh wow.
So this was a huge deal to 17-year-old Stephanie. This was huge for her. We had always talked about wanting to go to one, and this was the closest that it was going to be. It was there. We drove that Sunday. We went to church that Sunday and then drove over to Atlanta. And this was in the Georgia Dome, and The Rock was hosting it. He was the host, and John Cena and The Miz were the main event for the WWE Championship. Sadly, the Divas Championship was not on the card, even though Eve Torres was the champion and she was there. Um, the Undertaker and Triple H fought one more time, even though they fought after that the next year. They fought this first time, and the Undertaker came out to that Johnny Cash song.
Oh girl,
Um,
I'm gonna talk about that. Woo.
So yeah, and then John Cena's entrance was also with a choir, but before that choir, he had one of DMX's prayers playing with a montage that he had,
Oh my god.
which is so beautiful. Which was really beautiful if you were to go back and watch it. And I know last year when I went to Mania in Vegas, they were actually playing that moment and the choir with John Cena's entrance throughout the arena in WWE World.
Oh
So
my god.
yeah, it was pretty chills inducing. This is also where Snooki made her in-ring debut as well, due to the fame of Jersey Shore. So it was definitely a product of its time, and it's not one of the perfect WrestleManias, but at the same time, um it's still one that I hold close to my heart, simply because I was there with my dad and my sister, and it was my very first WrestleMania that I got to attend. So, Bianca, why did you choose this as your number 5?
Well, like you, WrestleMania is 27 was is actually the first WrestleMania I ever watched.
Hmm.
And I didn't watch it live because I was a broke ninth grader. I actually watched
I
it.
mean, you were a teenager, so it's okay.
I was actually I actually watched it. I found a website that had it in clips.
Hmm.
So it took me so like I watched it in clips. So but before that, oh my god, 22111 holds a special place in my heart because that was when I first saw The Undertaker and Triple H. And ooh, that and that whole segment was like, I know how big the Undertaker was. I know that name, but I've never seen him. But I know who he is
Mm-hmm.
and the lore of the Undertaker. I've never seen Triple H. I never knew of Triple H, but until that video, until that moment.
What an
So
intro.
yeah, oh girl. And then that, oof, everything about that was, oh my god, it was so cool. I've never seen anything like that before. That face off was my lock screen, was my wallpaper in ninth with Triple H's ponytail and the slick hair of the Undertaker. Oh my god, that
I love that.
was my wallpaper. I loved it so much, and that was, and when I heard, and when the that countdown and the Undertaker, before the Undertaker came, hearing
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Cash's "Ain't No Grave,"
Yeah.
I think that solidified my love and standship for, yeah, I mean that's a word, standship, whatever, get into it. For Johnny Cash. Because ain't ain't no grave was
Mm-hmm.
was I was so cool that, that was
Yeah,
that
and then not to interrupt you, because the Undertaker even using that song was pretty cool too, because in the lore of WrestleMania, I can remember vividly watching WrestleMania 20 on DVD and seeing him come back after losing a buried alive match to Kane, and Kane thought for sure he buried his brother, all for the Undertaker to come back um at that WrestleMania and beat him in that match. like in the lore of WrestleMania, him using that Ain't No Grave song by Johnny Cash was perfect. It
mm-mm.
was it was a perfect choice, and whoever made that decision ate, because oh my god. I felt like honestly that really just should have been the Undertaker's theme song from that point on, but
I thought it
money
was.
and it, yeah, no, it wasn't. Like they just used that for that pay-per-view. But then what's so funny is if you go back and watch WrestleMania 27 on streaming, it's not, I don't think it's that song is featured on there due to licensing and stuff like that. So, and it sucks, but if you watched it in the moment and if you were there, you know that that was the song.
Oh my god! Wow,
Yes.
and then before, and then I will get to WrestleMania 27. But then that was actually my first time watching. That was my first time watching the Hall of Fame induction ceremony with Shawn Michaels. That moment was,
Yeah.
that was my first time. It was my first everything. And then just the hype. But oh my god, I
Mm-mm.
oh my god. So okay, where was I? Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm done. Okay, I think I'm. And then when um I lost track. I was still talking about the Undertaker and Triple H, that match, but that match, and oh, when the Undertaker walked out,
Mm-hmm.
and then Josh Roberts, one of my favorite ring announcers of all time, that I hear, and his announcement of the Undertaker, and then just oh my god! And I think that was my first time. That was the first time I actually like got into the streak. And then we get into this. I think about this all the time. The old girl. Oh my god. We talk. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow.
Yeah, John and the yeah, all of that was really great, because that was really my first time actually thinking paying any attention to the streak too. And just seeing the Undertaker defend it and seeing Triple H, go after it as hard as he did. Like that
Justin.
match was very tough. Like it was very tough to kind of just sit there and just witness at the time. And then at one point it also looked like both of those men kind of passed out and it was
Yeah.
crazy. Another favorite part that I loved about
I,
this pay-per-view, even though huh?
I made a mistake. I meant to say Justin Roberts, not Josh
Yeah.
Roberts.
Yeah, Justin,
So
yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Justin Roberts when they. Oh, hello, I love you. Okay.
But yeah, another match that I feel like kind of flies under the radar from WrestleMania 27 is also undashing Cody Rhodes fighting Rey Mysterio. And Rey Mysterio had this gear on where it was like Captain America theme, and that was the first time I had ever knew about Captain America. So Rey Mysterio is the reason why I know about Captain America, because he cosplayed as him. Because every WrestleMania Rey Mysterio had been in, he has like either a cosplay or a special gear, and that was the first time I'd ever heard about Captain America because of
Wow.
Rey Mysterio.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and then Cody Rhodes, he was undashing, he was walking around with that mask on. Um, and he was just walking around with the paper bag and everything, like, oh my God, get away from me, I'm
Yeah.
ugly, just being dramatic.
Yeah.
And then he won that match in Atlanta, which is of course, a home for him. So that was really interesting, and that tends to fly under the radar a whole lot when it comes to that, because like I said, it's critically, panned as one of the worst WrestleManias. But
No.
another reason why it's also, sort of looked at kind of funny is because you had John Cena fighting The Miz, but then at the same time, he had this beef going on with The Rock.
Yeah.
And The Rock was just hosting, and every week, I think me and my family were watching just to see if they were actually going to fight in Atlanta. All for The Rock to just host the thing and then cost John Cena the match at the very end and help The Miz retain. And it was just so nuts. And then on top of that, we got played with because they went ahead and announced that the once in a lifetime match between The Rock and John Cena would
Yes.
happen at the next one
Yeah.
in Florida. I was so like, I was excited that it was happening, but I was sad because it really could have happened for us,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's okay that it happened the way it did, but at the same time, if it had happened in Atlanta, that would have made my entire life. But it's okay. It is okay. That was years ago. um
I
we're
find
still
myself.
happy, but
I find myself singing, "Your time is up, my time is now. Your time is up, my time is now. Your time is up, my time is now." Your...
hey,
Yeah, girl.
hey, like, oh my God,
My God. And
that's
then
that woman was singing for her life. Okay.
midweek service. Come
Oh my
on.
gosh.
You know what I mean?
We
Just
we need to find that choir and see how all those people are even doing, like, at that point, and
yeah,
ask them, what do they even still watch wrestling, or had they ever even watched wrestling up to that point? Like, there's so many questions I have for all those people. But either way, that was an awesome entrance. John
yeah,
Cena did what needed to be done. The
yeah,
Miz, his entrance was like awesome balloons, and then he
yeah.
came out to You Can
With
Hate Me
Alex
Now by
Riley.
Nas and um that person who shall not be named. Um,
That was
but
it, right?
yeah,
With Skylar Gray. Oh my God. I actually really like that song.
what, You Can Hate Me Now?
With Skylar Gray and
No, that
MGK.
wasn't Skylar. No, that wasn't Skylar Grey and MGK. Um, You
Okay,
Can
what
Hate
else?
Me Now. The song that the Miz had his montage to for this one was by Nas and P Diddy.
Oh, which one
Yeah,
are you thinking
yeah, that's
about?
like a that's like a rap classic, like full on, like, yeah. So you're
But you know
thinking
what?
about another WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You're thinking about the next one that
Oh,
actually
is it?
had The Rock and Cena.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
still on 27.
Okay. Okay.
But
Well,
yeah,
okay. But even though that still, since that song is not in WrestleMania 27, one of my favorite songs of all time was the theme song for WrestleMania 27, and that song holds a special place in my heart. Written in the stars, Tiny Tempa, Eric
me
Turner. Oh
too.
Lord, oh my God, that's like a soundtrack of my high school days. Hearing that on the radio and that being on the theme song. Oh my God.
I used
Oh.
to run to that song in college. I can't believe that. Oh my God. What is happening to time? Um but
Mhm.
yeah, WrestleMania 27 is special. no matter what anybody says, and I'm still holding out hope for the day they bring WrestleMania back to Atlanta or back to the South period, because this
Right.
one was supposed to be in New Orleans, but
I was gonna say,
plans changed. But either
yeah,
way, here's hoping that WrestleMania finds its way back to the South or even to Birmingham, because you just never know.
yeah,
I'm manifesting that for my city.
it will.
Whatever. Yes, it will one day. So we move to your number 4 moment, Bianca. This is another special one that I'm blessed to say that I got to be here for. So I'll let you talk about this one. This is CM Punk and his entrance at WrestleMania 41 last year. Yeah, I'll let you get into it.
Okay. So, oof. Okay. Oh my God. I actually got really emotional with this because, oof, you start, before Living Color, and I love when, um, the actual band comes out and sings the theme song live. But before that, there was the montage. There was the video
Yes.
of CM Punk and Ring of Honor. His
Mm-hmm.
old saying, "My name is CM Punk," and then cutting to him now reciting that whole entire promo, seeing where was and where he is right now. Oh my God! And it's playing with Kill Switch engaged. Oh, this fire burns playing. Oh my goshness gracious, goodness gracious. Oh my God! And just hearing and just seeing videos of the crowd singing, even through the darkest days, this fire burns away. Hey! This fire burns away. CM Punk, you are an old child. And that song I love the meaning to that song. Oh my God. It's just, oh. And then just seeing his reaction before he came out, him crying. And then he came out to Live in Color singing with Cult of Personality. Oh my God. It was a lot happened. I loved every single moment. And then after he main evented, when the match was over, he was crying and he said, "I effing did it." And then just, I love this man so much. Oh my God. Ah! Oh.
Yeah.
Anything CM Punk does, and any entrance CM Punk, and you can never go wrong. I have never seen a boring CM Punk entrance.
Yeah, me neither. And let me just say, hearing your passion about it, I love that that came across to you that way when you were watching it, because here again, another, this is a special moment. Wow, everything moves full circle. I was there for that last year, and I knew how special this was because, of course, in the weeks leading up to it, when they were signing the contract for the triple threat, Paul told him, look, it's right there. You are a WrestleMania main eventer. And just seeing Punk cry about it, like, you can tell that even though, this is a person who has every right to be jaded because he's been through so much. We know his journey, it's been spoken about constantly. Um, but for him to have finally gotten to that point, I felt like it was a very beautiful moment to experience as a fan and just as a person. It just lets you know that your dreams are never far away, no matter how hard you have to work for them. They're never impossible. So to see him get to that point, and then I'm there sitting in Allegiant Stadium with everyone, um, impressed with all the fans and everything. He comes out and the video starts. So I'm up top and I'm looking at the video from up here. And it starts and he's talking, and then you see his journey, and you see the old indie ring and everything else. And then with him talking about, my addiction is
Mhm.
wrestling. And you see everything he's been through, and he talks about how, this night is, my fire is always burning. This night is my night, while the music is playing. And I get chills even just thinking about it, just sitting there and listening to the entire Vegas crowd sing this Fire Burns. I didn't know that. I did not know all those people even still remembered that song, because Cult of Personality has been this man's theme song for so long that I didn't even think that many people remembered this Fire Burns. But sitting there and hearing everybody sing that song like that, it was just like, man, it was
Yeah.
it was crazy. Everybody was locked in that moment that this really was CM Punk's big chance and big
Yeah.
moment and big dream coming true. We were all locked in and on one accord. So it was magical. It's that Mania magic. And then he comes out, with Living Color. And of course, they've performed with him at Mania before, at Mania 29. Um, and that was wonderful. But this time, for him to have both of his theme songs, in that montage, and then of course with the band playing right there, it was wonderful. It was really awesome. And I count myself blessed to have seen a legendary black rock band perform that song and that hit that is essentially going to feed them forever,
Yeah.
because of the relationship they have with CM Punk. It was a beautiful thing. And then you have Paul Heyman right there. Craziness aside that happened at that match, you have Paul Heyman right there who believed in him from the very beginning. So it was very beautiful, and I'm so happy that it came across that way with people watching, and then with me, and then with us being there and everything else like that. I'm so happy that it came across as very emotional. And then watching Unreal and seeing him cry about, saying, I effing did, I effing main event at WrestleMania. Like, that's one of the things that he's ever wanted. This man started his WWE career riding with a Tommy gun dressed up as a gangster on John Cena's car.
Yes. Oh my God. I remember
And
watching that for the first time last year,
yeah,
WrestleMania 22, and I stopped. And I said, "Oh my God, that was actually my
right.
first time." That whole it was
We
really
had no idea then. Back then, we had no idea what was on the horizon. But yeah, this is the proof that hard work and dreams can definitely come true. It may be a delay, but it's never a denial.
yes.
And now he's about to main event Mania again.
There we go.
So double the
And-
blessings, okay?
yeah.
So this is a wonderful moment. I'm so happy you included this, because it was about as emotional for me as it also was for you too. So it was wonderful. I'm so happy to have witnessed this.
Oh my God.
So yeah,
Like, how
chills
was the
all over.
crowd for you? Like when they hold on. Okay. Okay. So when this Fire Burns started to play and the crowd popped, and knowing how loud it was, like how was it? Like
It was
s-
nuts. It was nuts. It's like you could hear, I guess this is just because of the way that the stadium is made. It's like, even though it was like over 60,000 people in there, it sounded like a roar, but then it also sounded like an echo at the same time. It was a roaring echo of everyone singing the song, and it was just nuts. I have a video I can send to you later. But it that's basically how it felt to me in the moment, because I wasn't singing. Like, I was just quiet and just listening to it because it was just so nuts. It was a roar, but it was a roaring echo.
was
That's
it a mix,
really that's really what it felt like.
was it a mix of like screaming and like singing
It was,
and
yeah, it was screaming and singing, but mostly singing.
oh God,
Yeah.
God, I just like when like how was the screaming
Well,
when
I
the
can't
video
really
started?
specifically say how was the screaming. It was kind of hard, but it was like screaming and singing. So,
Like in screaming in unison for one interest. Like, oh my God, how
yeah,
special!
everybody was locked in. It was
Oh my God,
beautiful. But yeah, as we move forward, you also listed AJ Styles, a future Hall of Famer as of this weekend. Um, and his Boneyard match against The Undertaker, which wound up being The Undertaker's final match. I'm happy that you included this one because this is a part of the WrestleMania. You could almost say the WrestleMania that time forgot, but not really, because this happened during the pandemic, and this is the one where, it could have been in Florida, but then of course the pandemic happened. We were all shut down, and this was where the concept of the 2-night mania began.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, this is where the concept of the 2-night mania began. Because they wanted to continue to create content for people to escape in during that hard time.
Yeah.
And this is the Undertaker this is like his last hurrah. And AJ Styles, wanted to be the person to bury the Undertaker, but the Undertaker was like, I think the F not. Um, like, you're not going to destroy me in my last match, even if you do have the Good Brothers with you. Forget that, you know? And this was a cinematic match, which here again, it was very interactive. It helped people get into the things, and this is something that I will always appreciate WWE for during this time. And of course, here again, this was at the start of my wrestling podcastdom because this was we weren't expecting any of this, but I do appreciate all of the effort that was put into giving us a great show, even though things were absolutely different. So Bianca, why did you pick this moment as your number 3?
Oh my God. Wow. The the production, the story, the oh the drama. It was so cool. I was in the middle of editing my thesis while watching this. It was a really weird time. Oh my gosh. This couldn't have happened at such a better and a better time. Cause like that was that was something I never thought that I needed, or in something that I was never expecting to see. You start with the Undertaker on his motorcycle, and something that you should know about me is I am a sucker for men who can ride motorcycles. Oh my God. There is nothing sexier than a man who can ride a motorcycle. More specifically, a chopper.
Ooh.
Oh, girl. Ow. Like a bad boy. Oh, and then he just rolled in, and then he got off, and then the camera pans up to him with that music. Who was playing? I forgot who was playing. That rock. I forgot the band. But when the camera panned to him, Undertaker. It's like, oh my, wow, that was so cool. Oh my God. I didn't know what there was. This is so cool and awesome. And then AJ Styles does his thing. Not what I not what not what I expected coming out of like the hearse and the casket. They don't want none. They don't want. That was so funny. And then
AJ Styles was a world-class troll during this entire dynamic.
Yeah.
He really was. It was hilarious how much of a troll he was. Because when he came out of that casket, I was like, oh my God, this is how I know you're not going to make it out of this match alive. They were fighting all over a barn.
Yes.
And fighting with all of it. I can remember like fighting with all of this, just the farm equipment and all of the stuff. Like it was probably as great as any cinematic match could be. It really was.
I was wondering when he got thrown into the ground before getting buried. I was wondering, and then he got out. I was wondering how he got out so fast.
I don't know, man. WrestleMania magic.
that was live. That was it live or was it pre-taped?
I'm pretty sure it had. I believe maybe it was pre-taped.
Because like
I haven't seen anything proving it was pre-taped, but because it was a cinematic match, I would have to imagine it had to be pre-taped because I can't imagine anything like that happening live in the moment.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know exactly. So I don't want to spread any misinformation, but I would imagine it would have had to have been pre-taped.
But anyway, either way, that the blocking of that match, the production, the drama, and just was just phenomenal and fantastic. And then the Undertaker getting back on his motorcycle after winning and doing that thing with his logo in purple. Oh, that purple.
Right. Riding off into the sunset.
Yes. And then we can't forget that AJ Styles got help from Anderson and Gallows.
And his glove was hanging out of the dirt after it was all over. It was a minute before we saw AJ after that. Like he didn't come back until maybe 2 weeks later. I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Woo, that was a blur. But that was probably one. It was a really great cinematic match, and I really appreciated it. During this time, because there's one thing. If there's one thing I think I'll probably get to it when we talk about the next match that you put. Well, not the next one, but but number one. Okay. But I really just love the effort that they put into it, and it was just a nice way for the Undertaker to kind of just say farewell to his in-ring career. Because I do believe after that point he did officially retire, and they did put him in the Hall of Fame afterwards. So this was a very nice way of just, to cap off his career, and then to do it with AJ Styles, who was one of the best in the business, is really cool too.
I really liked watching the Undertaker. I really liked getting to know the man behind the Undertaker and hearing him talk and seeing him and his hair and his everything, just him, no costume, just badass.
Yeah. And a lot of wrestling fans will be like, no, he's breaking the facade. But my thing is, he's been in kayfabe his whole life. If he's retiring now, and if he wants to let it go, let him let it go. He's earned the right to let it go. He has definitely earned the right to let it go and now just be himself. But this was a really great cinematic match, so it was cool. Now your number 2 wasn't just one specific moment. It was a collection of moments that happened within the span of 5 minutes at WrestleMania 40, which is highly acclaimed as one of the greatest Mania moments of all time. Is of course the 5 minutes where it was the Cody Vengers is what I've dubbed them. I think somebody else dubbed them that as well, but it just sounded catchy. The Cody Vengers versus the Bloodline. As Cody and Roman fought again for the undisputed WWE Championship, which he wound up winning in Philadelphia. I wasn't at this Mania, but I was in town for it. So even though I did not get accepted for media at that point in time, I still wanted to go and be around the things, because there were things that I did want to go to and things that I was invited to. So I was just like, I still want to go. So I still went and had a great time. And I went to a watch party the first night, and the second night I just stayed in my room because transportation was hard. But either way, I'm still very happy with this WrestleMania. It was green everywhere. It was the start of the Paul Triple H Levesque era, and you felt it. You felt the change in the air for sure. And yeah, Cody Rhodes got to finish his story here, but not without some help from his friends, the Cody Vengers. So Bianca, I'll let you get into the happiness of the last 5 minutes of Cody versus Roman 2.
I think about that, if not almost every day. It's really weird. I can't. I remember watching that live. I remember saying to myself, "Oh my God, a lot is happening. What is happening?" And then we see um Cody and Roman fighting, and then out of nowhere, I forgot which person comes out first,
I
but
believe it was Solo Sikoa.
okay,
Yeah, because
okay,
he tried to help him. He tried to help Roman first. I believe he tried to help Roman cheat or something along the lines of trying to help him cheat the same way he did at 39.
mm.
But that didn't work out. But go ahead.
So I forgot who comes out in order, but and then so and then okay, and then out of nowhere you hear, and I said no, 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 no. There is no way. There is no way. Oh no, he can't be there. No, and then
Bianca,
girl,
girl,
listen.
look. I gotta tell you, I'm guilty too. I'm guilty. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad because I said the same thing. I said the same thing. Okay. I thought for sure when that Shield music hit, I was so because we saw Seth, of course, during night one. Well, actually, during night one, we saw him, fight side by side with Cody in the tag team match with Roman and The Rock. And then we saw him in night two defend the world heavyweight title against Drew McIntyre and all the things and stuff. And he wasn't, and we thought, we were finished seeing him, right?
Yeah.
So when that Shield music hit, I was not expecting to see Seth. I thought for sure that they had pulled some type of okey doke and John Moxley came back. And I could not breathe. I could not breathe. I swear I couldn't breathe. And then this is not in order. So these pictures are not in order. So please
Yeah.
bear with me. I know Seth came out last because this is what wound up costing Roman in the end. But
Mm.
baby, when that Shield music hit, I thought for sure you could not tell me it wasn't John Moxley. But it was Seth, being the Shield that Cody needed.
Yeah.
Because yeah.
And Corey Graves even said it. He said he can't be. What did he say? He can't be here. There is no way. He can't.
Exactly.
It's impossible. Something like that. Oh my god.
I would have went to the hospital if it was.
That whole
Oh god.
Lord. Oh my
It
god.
it was so funny, but that was a very, like what the F moment. But
Right.
Seth came in the clutch here when it came to that.
Yeah.
But then you
And
also have
then this
yeah.
and then
The Rock coming out there being the final boss, and then you have John Cena coming out there like, yo, it was John Cena first, and then The Rock came out there, and then they had their face off, and I was like, are we gonna get this again?
yeah. When John Cena came out, I screamed. When The Rock came out, I don't remember. Did I scream? I don't remember. But that whole face off and that whole atmosphere, there's this still where not this angle, but like when they're standing, and then you can see them just looking around, and then when I talk about the noise at 40, when you were there, that was what I was talking about. Like, how was that noise? Because like it was just, oh my god, just I love moments like that. When the
Yeah.
crowd is so loud and they're whoa. I think that was the moment when I said, a lot is happening. What is happening?
Yeah, and you couldn't tell The Rock anything because he had on. Now this was a moment where The Rock would have on lemon pepper steppers, and The Rock had on some lemon pepper steppers, and he had on these white flare pants, and he came out there with his belt and
Before
this
they were
Versace
cool.
shirt, which low key was like a callback to how he used to dress in the 90s, and you couldn't tell him nothing as the final boss then. But then him and John had that standoff, and it was just incredible, And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I know CM Punk has been railing against cinema, but this entire part was basically cinema. I'm
It really
sorry.
was.
Pro wrestling is a combination of all of the arts, and that
Right.
includes cinema, and that's exactly what this was. It was
Exactly.
aura farming, it was all of the things, and it was just incredible. And then on top of that, you all oh sorry, I went too far. You also had Jimmy coming out to try to help Roman, but then you also had Jay, who he had fought previously that
Yeah.
weekend too, coming out to even up the odds as well. Then you had the Undertaker. I'm sorry, I'm
Mm.
only saying this because I don't have the pictures, forgive me. But it was just one of those amazing moments where you remember where you were. And of
That was,
course,
yeah. And the
all of
Undertaker coming
this,
out was a moment when I said, "Oh my God, what is happening?" Uh,
right. And he came out and scared the Rock ishless.
yes.
You would have thought it was the 90s again.
Right.
And
And I
it
was
all,
born. I was born.
I was about
Like,
to say, you ain't that. I mean, Bianca, come on. But yeah, all of the Cody Venger battles led to Cody finally finishing his story and becoming the undisputed WWE champion and winning the title that his father never properly got a chance to hold. And it was beautiful. He got to win it in front of his gorgeous, gorgeous boss wife, Brandy, and his mom and his father in spirit and so many other people who loved and cared about him. And, you know, watching Samantha Irvin, even though I know she's not with the company anymore,
can I please talk about that?
she,
Can I please talk about that?
yeah, we can just a little bit, just a little bit.
Okay. So what? Like, I actually wanted to talk. Like, so like, after, like, when Cody Rhodes did those three Cody cutters, and then Michael Cole saying he finished the story, and then I started, oh, and then his song started to play. I replay this moment in my head all the time when, oh, hearing Samantha Johnson, man, I love you to death. I hope you're well. I hope you're doing amazing. When she was announcing, and and she's and she started to cry, and she just bawled and
Mm-hmm.
lost it. I lost it with her. Because I don't care if she says, "Oh, I'm not a real ring announcer." That was She is why I want to ring announce. She will always be my inspiration. The seeing the passion in
Right.
her voice, and just and letting out and losing it when she was crying. As she was saying, "Here's your winner," and the new. That's when
Mm-hmm.
the world heavyweight champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Oh, that.
Yeah, and then Cody was saying that Samantha was emotional, and then Michael Cole chimed in, being the excellent journalist and storyteller, narrator, commentator that he is, talking about his vulnerability in the moment and saying, this is special for him because him and Cody have a relationship that dates back a while. And it was emotional for him as well. And just it like emotions were just running high and everybody was just so happy for Cody. And I hated how people tried to drag Samantha through the mud and tried to make it seem like she was making it about her. And I'm just like, absolutely not. If that moment was just about her, then she would not have cried the way she did. She would have just announced it the way that she would have professionally announced anything or anybody else. But she did her job so well throughout the whole night. And then when she got emotional at that one part, like she felt what everybody was feeling in that moment. And for that, I think, you know, the vulnerability that WrestleMania brings with dreams coming true. I mean, that's just what it is. It was authentic, like we were just talking about earlier with Bianca and Mercedes. It was authentic emotion, and no matter what happens, no matter what she chooses to do with her future or whatever, that is a moment that will stick with people like and everyone else for the rest of time. And yeah, the last 5 minutes was incredible, but the emotion after he won will always resonate greatly because this was a man making his dream come true, for himself, but also for his family name, for his dad, you know, who was instrumental in so many people's careers and also his. And it was just a dream come true for someone who felt like he had to, you know, really prove himself. And he did it in ways that people didn't necessarily expect, you know, but at the same time, he did it and he came back around and made his dream come true. So this was a very beautiful moment. I loved the last 5 minutes of it. You know, it was incredible. Um, and it's still one of those moments that you, if you're scrolling through TikTok or if you're scrolling through any social media account or watching it back, it's like, you know, you're watching something special. That moment fully embodies the passion and the authenticity and the love of professional wrestling. Because even Michael Cole was like, damn it, I love professional wrestling. And after he said that, I was like, yeah, me too. You know, like this is real. It's very, very, very real for us. Like that old clip of that wrestling fan saying, it's still real to me, damn it. This was the embodiment of that right here. All of this was literally the embodiment of that moment. It's real to us, damn it. And if it's not, then to y'all, then that's fine. But it's
Right.
real to us. And
Yeah.
this was real to us right here. So I'm glad you mentioned this because it was incredible. Absolutely incredible stuff. But as we move forward, we move to your number one moment. Another um emotional moment now. But this is another cinematic match from WrestleMania 36 during the pandemic. The Firefly Funhouse match between John Cena and the late great Bray Wyatt. Why did you choose this one as your number one?
Oh my God. Oh, just like the Boneyard match, this was. Oh God. No, oh my God.
Okay.
Everything I wanted in that time and then some. It was so weird. It was so amazing. It was so freaky. The production, the just the staging, the blocking, the every just everything, the dialogue, the transitions, the costumes, the surprises, everything about it was just perfect. Everything amazing. Ariana Grande taught me to enjoy and taught me to love the freaky stuff, to love the weird stuff. And I really love this because yeah, it's just seeing how hands-on they were behind the scenes, and seeing how Bray Wyatt was so involved in it behind the scenes to make this all come to light. Like I learned like this was all him. This was all Bray Wyatt. This is all his vision. So for it to like come to life like this, oh my gosh, amazing, so good. John, and we saw a side of John Cena we probably have never seen before. It was, I think, a side of him that he's always wanted to unleash, like his goofy side, his his weird side, his his I don't know any other words, but that side of him. It was before he retired. And doing it with someone he has seen such great potential in Bray Wyatt, and um the history they had in the WrestleMania years prior, for and for all for ugh, for John Cena to come back as the Doctor of Thugonomics, and for us to see um the Fiend, Firefly Funhouse. We saw we saw my favorite. We saw my favorite Bray Wyatt, which is um we saw Hillbilly Bray Wyatt with the fedora in the hair. Um, just it was just yeah, it was just really, and John Cena cutting some bar, spitting some bars in the middle of the ring, and just really a freaky, amazing stuff that I really truly enjoyed. Like it's a 10 out of well, for it's a 10 out of 10. Like amazing. Ah, so good. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly feel like if there was ever a list of the greatest cinematic matches to ever take place, because I remember when this happened, of course, even though it was during the pandemic, a lot of people felt like, well, why wasn't the Firefly Funhouse match like an actual match that took place in the ring?
Yeah.
And that discourse was happening back then a whole lot. But I think the thing that I appreciate the most about it now is the fact that, and even they alluded to this more so in the Bray Wyatt documentary that came out a little bit after he passed. It's just the fact that Bray Wyatt had a creative mind that even surpassed the people who were in charge back then.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like back then it's like I feel like there could have been a power dynamic where it was sort of maybe limiting for him and his visions, because Bray Wyatt had a creative mind that really could like enrapture you and bring you and like let and pull you in. um no pun and all puns intended. And it's just like his creativity just could not be limited in any way, shape, or form, and this match is the living embodiment of that. There were so many layers to it. It was more than just in-ring work rate type of stuff. Like, this was actually playing into a lot of things that people had mentioned about John Cena in his entire wrestling journey. And of course, it came back to bite us once he actually did turn heel during his retirement run. Um, but it asked a lot of questions that we, I guess, weren't really ready to answer or contend with at the time, because there was the notion of Bray Wyatt during their first match at WrestleMania 30 of him asking John Cena, where is your dark side? Like, where is the part of you that wants to give up in all of this? And then this match right here sort of fed into that. Like, what would have happened if you had have fed into your dark side? If you had have gone the way of, as much as I don't like him anymore, of a Hulk Hogan who was the good shining example, and then he did turn heel and join NWO and all the things. What would have happened if John Cena was allowed to tap into his dark side before he ultimately did? I feel like this was subverting that, and well, like just showing a level of it was just making us contend with things that, or making at least John Cena's character at this point contend with things that he tried to, I guess, suppress or ignore. um and the audience, and it challenged the audience in a way that I just don't think we were really fully ready for at the time. But then, and then we thought we would never deal with it because they never thought they would ever pull the trigger on John Cena being bad.
Yeah.
All for them to do it. But this match was always is special to me because it uses elements of the past to take us on that journey, and I will always appreciate that. And I hate that Bray physically can't get his flowers for how good this was, but at the very least, the most we can do is, talk about the brilliance of his creativity, and then also praise John Cena for his willingness to go along with the idea, because this was right before he was really busting off with his acting bag. And then now we're able to see how much he can really tap into more creativity as an actor, he with him doing stuff like this and then doing everything that he's done afterward too. So it was an artistic vision, and I'm so happy that it happened, and I'm glad that there were so many layers to it that even feeds into more recent wrestling history. um and it's perfect, and I'm so glad that you chose this as your number one, and I'm so happy that you included moments from that Mania during the pandemic, because so many people try to make it seem like because it was during lockdown it didn't matter. No, it does. It absolutely does. And
Right.
I'm so happy that you mentioned that. So that's tens for you, Bianca. I'm so proud that you mention moments from that one.
Thank you. I'll replay that moment in time in my head. My headspace is still in 2019, 2020. It's still in that headspace because it's just so weird. I was in college. I was I was trying to get through a major that I regret, trying to get my degree, trying to edit my thesis, and then all that happened. And with all that, WrestleMania happened. So luckily, I had my editing laptop, so I watched WrestleMania on my editing laptop. It had a big screen. It was a MacBook, the big screen. So I cherished it for the time, and it was great. And I needed all that. I'm happy this happened. Although I do wish I I do wish that it didn't happen because I like the crowd. I'm used to the crowd. I wish they did. I wish they postponed it. But hey, they made a way. They found a way, and a lot of amazing moments happened. But yeah, it was what
Yeah,
a time to be alive.
it was. And we were all just trying to make it through, like you're mentioning all the things you were going through. I was, transitioning into a new job at the time, still figuring out how to wrestling podcast or even talk about anything on a podcast. I had never done it before. We were all just trying to figure out how in the world we were going to get through that time. But I'm always grateful that wrestling was there, even though it was awkward, like you mentioned, with the crowds and everything. A lot of people were like, oh, I don't think I can watch wrestling without the crowd. Honestly, I'm glad that a lot of us still continued with our love of pro wrestling because that was a part of something that we could look forward to in the midst of so much toughness and darkness, and also trying to work through and make it through certain things. And, you know, I'm happy that they still found a way to safely give us something to look forward to in that way. And WrestleMania is definitely a part of that, and it definitely does matter. So Bianca, thank you so much for sharing your top five. And I'm just so happy and so proud of you for mentioning, that WrestleMania in particular, because it does matter, it does count in the WrestleMania pantheon. So let's not be weird because it looked different than the others. All WrestleManias matter.
A lot of people didn't watch it.
No, people did watch it. I just feel like there's this notion that some people have, even with the NBA finals to a degree, like because all of that happened under lockdown, there are some people who run with the narrative that they feel like it doesn't matter because it was during lockdown. I'm like, no, it does matter.
It does, yeah.
It
And then
does. So
that you too.
yeah, and the WrestleMania matters as well. Like everything that happened that year, even though it was different, it still mattered.
Yeah.
So, so I just don't want, if that narrative is out there about that WrestleMania, I would just very much prefer for it to not be out there because, it still mattered because it gave us something to look forward to. It gave us a level of escape, and it made us happy. It gave us something cool. So thank you for mentioning that.
Thank you. I
So
enjoyed it.
yeah. So we're gonna move to my top five along with my honorable mention. Um and I'm gonna start my honorable mention with a very loud video. um so this is a moment from last year's WrestleMania. We're back at Vegas. So this is my honorable mention right here. So yeah. So if you heard that music amidst all of the screaming, y'all, I lost my cool. My honorable mention in the midst of my top five WrestleMania moments is Joe Hendry and his surprise um appearance at WrestleMania. So This was amazing for me because here again, this is a moment I'm so blessed to have witnessed as a media member, and just as a fan in general. I love Joe Hendry because this last year I got to experience him surprise us at the Royal Rumble, with his entrance. And at the time he wasn't TNA champion just yet, but then he wound up winning the TNA world title. And he was at WrestleCon, in Las Vegas, because of course when WrestleMania is going on all over the city, there's wrestling stuff everywhere. So he was at WrestleCon. He's still with TNA at the time. Randy Orton, funny enough, last year did not necessarily, he was supposed to fight against Kevin Owens, but sadly Kevin Owens was out due to a neck injury.
Mm,
And Randy came out and cut a promo and said, look, like, this is my, I think I forgot what number of WrestleManias he had been to at that point, but he said, look, like, whoever is going to come out there and whoever wants to face me is going to get the three most devastating letters, RKO. So from my view, as you saw in that video, I was up top in the press part. You couldn't see who was coming out, like the way you would if you were watching it, because I did go back and watch this WrestleMania, or at least this moment, and they had the camera facing the stage where the doors opened and you could
yeah.
see a silhouette. I couldn't see anything. None of us could see who it was going to be. So, or at least I couldn't see from my angle. So I'm just sitting there freaking out like, oh my God, who could it be? Who could it be? Who could it be? And his music hits, Joe Hendry's music hits, and I lose every inch of cool that I was supposed to have in that moment. Journalist Stephanie left the building. Fan Stephanie just kept screaming and low key in tears because Joe Hendry is coming out. And everybody popped and everybody was screaming and singing the song. I was singing the song. Like, it was just a moment of unbridled joy that I cherish, that I will always cherish, because Joe Hendry is a great wrestler and I love crowd participation stuff.
Yeah.
So getting to be a part of that, at WrestleMania of all things, and then to witness him make history, being the first ever TNA champion to wrestle at a WrestleMania, like, that was nuts. It was just so nuts, and I'll always cherish it because it was a surprise. I didn't see it coming, you know, and I just screamed. And there were a couple of friends sitting further down from me who host the Ringer Wrestling show, who saw me screaming, saw me dancing, and it was just unbridled joy. And that's what Joe Hendry brings to me. He just brings me joy every time. I gotta sing, I gotta dance every time. That's just how I feel about him. I love him. So this was amazing.
Are you telling me that you saw one of the most amazing WrestleMania moments of all time, which is Randy Orton and Joe Hendry doing the thing, spinning
Yes.
around, and you saw Joe
Yeah, Joe Hendry get RKO'd afterward. Yes.
Randy Orton Adams?
My heart was so broken because I thought maybe they made a bond, but then Randy was like, psych, yeet.
He wasn't even in the camera. He
Oh
just like
God.
out of nowhere gets in frame and RKO's Joe Hendry.
And then Randy wins the match and everything. But when I tell you, I couldn't even be mad. It happened so quick. I didn't have room to be angry about it. I was just like, you know what? Fine. Fine. I had my moment.
Randy Orton does the spin and he just like, come on, man.
Oh God, it was so amazing. There are just no words to just fully define the how iconic that moment was. I'm so honored to have gotten to see that. So this is my honorable mention, and this is also just a reminder to just don't let anybody, make you feel bad for screaming and having unbridled joy and being silly at wrestling events and stuff. Life is too short. If Joe Hendry pops up somewhere near you, if you say his name and he appears, have fun with it. And that's what I was doing. I just couldn't.
Oh my
I
god.
couldn't bear it. It was just so much excitement running through my body at that point. I regret nothing.
You should not regret nothing. You should not regret anything.
I
Oh,
don't.
uh,
Um so my number 5 properly um is actually Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock at WrestleMania 19. Like I mentioned earlier to you, Bianca, WrestleMania 19 was the first WrestleMania I ever watched on DVD. And the reason why I love this match was number one, because of the history that these two men have at WrestleManias. Like these two could have a standoff with each other to this day, and it will still elicit a level of emotion from fans of the Attitude Era, like to this day, because of the iconic nature of their rivalry. They fought so much. And this was their third and final time fighting each other. And then this was after Stone Cold had dealt with some health issues involving, I forgot what the health issues were, but I remember the lore that my dad was telling me about this match and how it almost didn't happen because Stone Cold was going through a lot health wise. And but he decided to push through anyway and have the match regardless. And so this was just really magical for me at the time to just witness that level of lore and to just see the toughness that Stone Cold Steve Austin had to push through that. And then you have The Rock, who was essentially like the first version of Hollywood Rock that we saw, um, being a villain and just fighting against Stone Cold. And it was just it was a really great match for sure. I believe this is actually my favorite of all of their matches they've had. So it was just really great, and I hold it very near and dear to my heart. It was great. I love this match here, and I love WrestleMania 19. So I just love it. And then I also just hold it dear because I'll just never forget how my dad was just telling me behind, you know, inside baseball stuff about this match. And it was just my first time hearing anything like that. And I was a kid and I was just like, oh my God, like, Dad, are you serious? And he's just like, yeah. And I'm just like, oh my God. So um it was nuts, but I hold it very dear. So yeah. Stone Cold versus The Rock. You
you
never
remember when
get tired of it.
you remember when they were in the ring together in Texas? WrestleMania was it 36?
Yeah. I don't think it well, I don't think it was 36, but I do know it was the one in I can't remember if it was the one in Texas that happened in 2016 or if it was I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, anytime they're just together, all wrestling fans are just like, "Oh, you
Yeah,
know."
it was in the Silver Dome.
Mhm. Yeah, all the every fan is just like it's like they stop in their tracks because they know it's magic.
Yeah,
So, yeah, this is my favorite thing. And then The Rock, I believe at this point had not beaten Stone Cold at WrestleMania, so he finally beat him in this match. But either way, just the lore and the drama behind the scenes leading to this match happening is just one of my favorite um moments here, and it feeds into it. So, yeah, gotta love it. It was great. Um my number 4.
wow.
I know people have their feelings about Ronda Rousey in wrestling now, but in the beginning, when Ronda Rousey was barreling through everybody in the UFC and she was the baddest, or essentially in her mind, even still the baddest woman on the planet, I was a huge fan of her. I loved watching her dominate in the octagon, and then seeing her transition over to wrestling. I was even more excited about it. I was just like, "Oh my God, yes!
Yeah,
She's coming over to our side."
yeah.
So, when she fought in that tag team match alongside Kurt Angle against Triple H and Stephanie, I was absolutely here for it. I still have her Rowdy Ronda Rousey t-shirt that was patterned after Roddy Piper and everything. But it was this moment in particular, her lifting up Triple H, that popped me so hard in 2018. I was screaming my head off. I was at my boyfriend's house watching it. I was like, oh my God, she just lifted a whole man. I said it out loud. I was like, she just lifted a whole man. And it was incredible. I could not breathe. I could not breathe. I was just like, she really lifted this big man up. Triple H is not a small person. So to watch this woman who, was fairly new to wrestling at the time to us, and watch her lift him like it was nothing was so badass, and I just could not deal. Like I just rose up. It just lifted something in my soul that just empowered me so bad. I was just like, if I could just get strong enough to lift a man, I can do anything. It was just incredible. So this really got me together. This is my number 4. So
I remember, when Ronda Rousey came to WWE, I said, "Oh my god, I can finally watch her for free."
Right.
But this just I knew how strong she was, so like seeing this was very unexpected and something that I don't think I expected to see. So it's AI. I'm just kidding. It's
We're not spreading lies here. This is not AI. This really happened. You can go back on Netflix and look at this WrestleMania and see that Ronda Rousey really did lift Triple H. This is not AI. This is real. Dang it.
That's how real it is. It looks so fake. It's real. Did that make sense? I don't know. Anyway, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
But yeah. And yeah, 3 greats in the WWE with Ronda Rousey in one ring. Like, what? So cool. Only at WrestleMania. Well, not only at only at it can happen somewhere else, but only at WrestleMania.
Yes, absolutely. This was just very magical for me. It made me feel very empowered in the moment. It makes my heart swell every time I look at it, regardless to how things went down and how people feel about Ronda Rousey. I will always hold dear the fact that I saw Ronda lift a whole man. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care. This moment was for me, and I loved it. Let me get strong enough to lift a man. I dare you. I dare you to try me.
You have your whole life ahead of you.
Oh man, I'm just 32. I can do it.
There you go. There it is.
I can do it.
Okay.
So, moving on to number 3, I have to talk about Cody Rhodes' WWE return from WrestleMania 38 in 2022. This WrestleMania is special to me for a lot of different reasons. I think I should be able to tell. I can tell this story now, I think, without losing my mind, without sounding weird. I hope.
Girl,
but
stuttering and
at the no, it's just that this. No, it's not even just a matter of that. It's just the fact that there's a lot of moving parts to it that I hope will make sense. So at the time, while this WrestleMania was being hyped up, WWE did an interview contest on TikTok the same way they did a ring announcer contest, and Rain Cruz won that ring announcer contest for SummerSlam. And I actually had her on my show before, so shout out to her. She still does ring announcing on the West Coast. That WWE and TikTok collaborated on an interview contest where you could make these videos pretending like you were interviewing a WWE superstar side by side. And at the time, I knew, and I was still training and stuff, in wrestling journalism with the people who I was working with and my show. And I wanted to win this contest so bad so I could go to WrestleMania and win the chance to interview a star backstage. And they said that they would announce the winner like the week, like a few days before that WrestleMania and everything. And I got my nails done in the blue and everything. And they never announced who won because they wound up actually going with somebody completely different and not even winning and not even having anybody win the contest. And when I tell you, I was devastated. Like I was crying and everything. But Emily May, someone who's out in Vegas right now, who is an interviewer and does broadcast work with various promotions all over Texas and everywhere else. She encouraged me and gave me like the best pep talk and everything. And I felt better. So I stayed at home and watched this WrestleMania with my boyfriend and his family. And there were rumors all that time about Cody Rhodes coming back. And I'm just like, I don't know, guys. Because he had left AEW and I just didn't know if he would ever come back. Fast forward, I'm sitting there with my blue nails, watching Seth Rollins talk about who's my opponent, bring him out, don't make me wait, and all this other stuff. And then the fireworks go off. And then the music starts and it's Cody, and I'm in deep shock. I'm in deep shock that Cody Rhodes really came back here. And not only did he come back, he had a heck of a match with Seth, which fed into a rivalry they had over the course of that year. 3 matches against each other, one of which in Hell in a Cell, all the things. And just that moment, I just sat there in shock and I couldn't believe it even as he was walking down the ramp. I didn't believe it until the ring announcer announced his name and said the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes.
Wow.
I didn't believe it. Mind you, this man is halfway to the ring and I'm still just looking like, is this even real? Like, am I dreaming this? Like, is this a fever dream? Am I high? Like, what's going on? But no, Cody was really there. And it was just really nuts. So this is like my number 3. And I'm so happy that he actually did return because, of course, he was able to go on his journey to prove that he could be a top guy, and he is a top guy. So it was wonderful, and I hold this moment very dear. But that WrestleMania in Texas was essentially the catalyst of my motivation to get to Mania as a media person. Which I did.
Hey.
And I did wind up, becoming a person who could interview WWE stars. Not backstage, but other places, in media junkets and everything. And that essentially was that, and also working with the place I was working at was a part of my motivation to get there, because I knew I could do it, because I worked really hard and I knew I could. So yeah. And then of course that WrestleMania also had Bianca fighting Becky Lynch and coming out there with the Texas Southern Marching Band and everything. There were so many moments at that Mania that I really wanted to be there for, but God saw another way, and his way is better than mine. So yeah, Cody coming back was special and I loved it.
When Cody came out, I didn't know that song was unfamiliar to me. Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who was coming out because was not familiar with the Kingdom song.
Right.
And then I saw Cody Rhodes. I'm like, oh God, wow! But like you, I was shocked because don't you have your old don't whatever? Don't you have AEW? But yeah, when I watched it last year, when I watched it back, I forgot that even happened. I keep forgetting what's going. I keep forgetting. There was a surprise, and then, hearing Kingdom helps me realize, oh, it's coming now. But but yeah, and then you talk about Bianca's entrance. That was on my WrestleMania moments, but
I made you narrow it down. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're good. It's hey. I'm happy you mentioned it. So yeah, that I know this is your moment. You can have it.
No, it's okay.
That everything about that moment with the Texas Southern
Mm-hmm.
University. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm a sucker for drum lines. I'm a sucker for a good marching band. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Amazing. Ah,
Yeah, it was incredible. So, yeah, Cody coming back in this way at this Mania, just with the pomp and circumstance and the grandeur, it was just so cool. So, I feel like, and then I also feel like this was a perfect introduction to to really what the motivation of the American Nightmare is all about, because you saw him make his entrance, you saw him do the whoa, and then you saw him, interact with the children and actually give, his belt to one of the kids in the front row, and they were sitting there in shock. Like, it was just a wonderful moment and a wonderful introduction to this version of Cody that a lot of people who are probably just WWE fans, had never seen before. So it was just really cool. So it was wonderful. I love this moment. And I love the match afterward. Him and Seth did a heck of a job. It's a wonderful match for sure. I think I ranked this match in one of my articles that I released last year about the greatest matches, in my opinion, of WrestleMania history, because it was so good and because of the moment of it all. So it was great. I loved it. So my number two
oh,
um, is a match that I feel like doesn't get enough credit at all. This happened last year as well. Um, was Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the women's championship. Of course, Tiffany had a banner beginner year as a WWE champion, and this was sort of a dream match for women's wrestling fans who saw the similarities that Tiffany had to Charlotte and wanted to see this match happen. Now, of course, there was a lot of drama with a lot of things that were said in promos about Charlotte's personal life and so many other things. But when it came down to the match itself and also to the grandeur, because Tiffany Stratton came out like a Barbie doll,
yeah.
and then Charlotte came out with her corset and everything. It was just fantastic. Um, then on top of that, you had the montage that played before, and the song that they used was Lady Gaga's Perfect Celebrity. It was so amazing, and it just fit the both of them to a T. And this match was a perfect mixture of brawling and hate for each other as rivals, and also technical work as well. And I feel like it doesn't get enough credit for how good it was. So this was a great moment to have witnessed in women's wrestling history. Also, on a personal level, I wanted to see Charlotte Flair win because my friend, who I have mentioned on this show before, who has been on the show before, or had been, was Nikki Bougie, who was a wrestling journalist. Charlotte Flair was her favorite women's wrestler, favorite horsewoman, and she had passed earlier that year. And I wanted Charlotte to win in her honor so bad, and it wound up not going that way. Tiffany wound up winning, which was probably the better choice at the time. But emotionally, I wanted Charlotte to win so bad for my girl Nikki. But it's okay, because at least I know that this match was still really good in the midst of it all. So yeah, um, this was one of my moments. It was really great.
My condolences to you.
Thank you.
She's here right now.
Yeah, I
She
know
is.
she is. Yes.
Shout out to you, Nick. Shout out to Nikki Bougie.
Always.
Great name,
We speak your name forever, girl.
Nikki Bougie.
Oh yeah. She was thunder and lightning in the wrestling community, I swear. You would have loved her for sure. So yeah, this match was incredible. I'm glad I got to witness it. And yeah, I just feel like it deserves more credit, and I feel like maybe it'll get more credit as years go by. But yeah, this match was really good to me.
Why do I feel like Trish Stratus was a part of this match?
Uh no, well, Tiffany actually fought Trish Stratus at Evolution. So that was
Okay.
the same year, but that
Ah,
was a few months later.
yeah. Okay. I mean, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And that match was great too, but either
Still
way,
more.
like just a lot of blonde power. um in the midst of all of these runs. But yeah, it was great. Um I also want to say the Hardy Boys coming back. I think I meant to take this off, but I think I left it on here simply because I'm biased and they're my brothers. When they came back at the WrestleMania in Florida, I wanted to die. And I was screaming my head off because it was kind of the worst kept secret because the rumor mill was going off about them and everything, but I just didn't. I try to wait and see what happens first because rumors can be just that, rumors. But when they came out and the New Day essentially said, who could this third team possibly be? And then the Hardy Boys music hit. I could not stop screaming. This is also where my boyfriend's mother put together that me and the Hardy Boys have the same last name. So
Yeah.
because she could not understand why I was screaming, "Oh my god, my brothers!" And she was just like, "What?" And I was just like, and she was like, "Oh yeah, your last name is Hardy, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So everybody was popping. I was screaming. I could not breathe. It was just a lot. But this moment, I would call this another honorable mention for sure. Because it was just very special for me. I just could not stop screaming. A lot had already happened in that Mania anyway, but it was just very special to see them come out and participate in WrestleMania in a ladder match for the tag team titles, and they won.
It
So
is.
it was great.
This is actually on my list of favorite WrestleMania moments. So I am so happy this is your moment and you are talking about it because this is one of my favorite moments of all time. I didn't know that they were returning. So when they returned and the crowd, I'm a sucker for a loud pop, for a good loud pop, and that was a good loud pop. And then the New Day acting like three fools that I love and miss so much, like during the song, and then Jeff Hardy like your brother Nero like doing his thing, and just walking down that ramp. Oh my gosh. Like, oof. I mean, and yeah, yeah. And I think this was my first time actually seeing the Hardy Boys. I've heard of them. I've heard their name, the Hardy Boys, but actually seeing them, I think that this was my introduction to the Hardy Boys and actually and seeing and getting to know them and seeing them. So I became a fan of them that night. I know I sound very slow, but I've heard of the Hardy Boys. So am I really that slow? But I love
No,
them all. I know them. I know them now. Jeff is my favorite forever and always. I'm a Jeff Hardy
I
girl.
feel like honestly, Jeff is basically just the collective favorite out of all of them, but I just love them both simply because they're just both of them. Like I just love them both, and they're just my brothers. And hopefully one day I'll get to meet them
Oh, you
because
will.
it would be awesome.
You will.
So
They will be on the show.
yeah,
On the Hardy
um,
Wrestling Podcast interviewing the Hardy Boys. Family.
I've been trying for so long, but it'll happen.
The show will
Even
be
if I
called
just, even if
Fam.
I just meet them, it's fine.
The show will be called. The episode will be called Family or the
Yeah,
Hardy Family. The Family Heart.
yeah,
The Family Heart.
exactly. The Hardy compound. I don't know.
Yes. Oh, girl. Manifest. Let's go.
Yeah. But ultimately, I think my number one, um,
Another one of my.
my number one is always going to be Kofi Mania. Forever and always, it's Kofi Mania. That's it. I
It,
don't think this needs any narrative.
no.
Um, yeah. I've told the story on this show before about how this made me feel and how this moment had me sobbing. The way that Xavier was sobbing, that's essentially how I was sobbing in my boyfriend's lap when this happened. this is a moment where y'all know how Drew McIntyre likes to say, I prayed for this and it happened. No, I literally got on my knees and asked God for this to happen. And it did. Um, so yeah, this yeah, Kofi Mania is important. And it always will be important, regardless to how the championship reign ended. It happening just overshadows any negativity. It overshadows any doubt. The representation of it, the love of it, the New Day being the best the most positive versions of themselves, pushing Kofi to this moment, the fans pushing Kofi to this moment, um
The signs.
the signs and everything. Honestly, this WrestleMania that year could have ended right here and I would have been satisfied. I would have been happier. But of course, the women had the main event, and that was great. But um, but yeah, the pay per view could have ended right here, and I would have been happy because I
And,
was just so thrilled.
and then his children came into the ring.
Yep, and they had
Celebrate.
their shirts on. I have that shirt.
The blue one? Me too with the
Mm-hmm. And I also have the Kofi Mania shirt that was in the WrestleMania logo that year. Oh yeah, like I balled out. I lost my mind. I had New Day shirts anyway, but when Kofi had his own t-shirt, I bought the blue shirt that had his big face on the front and had 11 years on the sleeve. Like I balled out when it came to Kofi Mania. I played no games. No games at all. This was a canon event in my wrestling fandom.
I remember when I first saw Kofi Kingston during the SOS era. Oh,
Yeah.
and doing Trouble in Paradise back in the day, back in the like in 2011, late 2010. Ah, when I first started watching wrestling, and doing the boo 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 Monday nights were such a vibe back in the day.
They were. It may
Even
not have been
Friday,
perfect, but it was a vibe.
I miss it. During the before time.
Yeah, it like I said, it may not have been perfect and stuff because it was a different regime, but it was still a vibe because you picked out your favorite people who you loved. And Kofi was definitely one of my favorites, even from the SOS era. So watching him fight and then win all the titles that he did win, because him and CM Punk were even tag team champions at one point. Watching him win all the titles that he did win and then get to this point right here when nobody ever thought he would, you can't beat it. You really can't. So this is my number one WrestleMania moment right here. I feel like Bianca and Mercedes probably would have been my number one, but you made that your honorable mention, so I just let you have that one. But they to me, the both of those moments right there are equally as important. So yeah. This is the end of our top 5 WrestleMania moments. I hope you guys enjoyed
I
listening
really,
to us bask in the joy of our favorite moments, or at least some of them anyway, because there's so many.
yeah, thank you for sharing. I really enjoy hearing your side and your experiences with your favorite WrestleMania moments. It was a joy to listen to. And I'm happy that some of yours were some of mine. And
Yeah.
that makes me feel better. So
Yeah, I loved hearing some of yours too. Like this is just a great bonding moment. WrestleMania just builds bonds.
right.
So I'm just happy that we were able to share that with one another. So now that we've basked in the joy of everything, it's time to get down to brass tacks.
Uh-oh.
We have to give our predictions for this year's WrestleMania, which is, of course, taking place in Las Vegas again at the Allegiant Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders, my boyfriend's football team.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we love the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, wow.
For better or for worse, we love them. And yeah, it was an honor to be there last year and to actually see their Super Bowl trophies and everything. Like I always get a kick out of going into larger stadiums like that where NFL teams and other teams, get to play, and also NBA teams and stuff. So I love being in places like that. It never gets old to me. So,
Yeah.
and then to have wrestling events in them, it's just like, yeah, like I loved it because I loved being in the SoFi Stadium for Mania in 39. So stuff like that, as a sports girl, it just never leaves me the importance of it. So WrestleMania will be happening in Vegas this weekend. The first matches, or I don't know if the first hour, really the first matches, will be on ESPN2 and ESPN respectively for night 1 and night 2. And then of course the rest of it will be on the ESPN app. So yeah,
Yes.
Bianca?
So about that, so on Saturday, WrestleMania 31, the first hour will be on I'm blind. I'm blind. I'm blind. I'm blind. I'm blind. On okay, yeah, the first hour will be on ESPN2. The first
Yeah.
two matches will be on the first hour will be on ESPN2, and on Sunday, the first hour will be on ESPN.
Yes. And then of course after that they will transition over to the ESPN app.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then of course internationally it will come on for all of our international fans on Netflix. So yeah, we gotta give our predictions for night 1 and night 2. Thank you for sticking with us. Now before we give our predictions, we do have to hold space for the fact that this WrestleMania will be hosted by the one and only John
Oh,
Cena. Um, it's so interesting. We were talking about WrestleMania 27 and how The Rock was hosting it, and now you fast forward, and now you got John Cena, who's officially retired now, but has not left the world of wrestling and has not left us behind completely, and he's hosting Mania this year. So yeah, cool stuff. It'll be good to see him um mix it up with us.
I don't know how I will react when they hear his song. I might. Oh,
I might pass out.
me too. I might be so emotional. I might cry. The tears might be heavy. So, uh, mm, I'm
Oh
happy.
God, oh
I
God, oh
have,
God.
it's been too long and weird. I miss him. And that video
Four
he posted
months,
there, he looked good. Oh my
4 months without
god.
John Cena is just too much. It's too much. But we get to have him for 2 nights this weekend, and WrestleMania is the perfect place for it. So yeah, this is gonna be cool. It'll be nice to have him back,
I
even
wonder
for just a little while.
how will he have his drawers and how is he going to dress? Will
We
he
don't
have
know.
a weird
That's a surprise. We gotta wait and see.
suit?
But yeah, I'm pumped. It's gonna be cool. So we're going to start with the women of night 1 of WrestleMania. We're going to give our predictions, and we're going to start with AJ Lee. I did this for you, Bianca, because I know you want to get into this one. We're going to give our predictions for AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch, of course, has main evented WrestleMania, of course, being a part of the first women's main event. She As she said in that promo that she had with AJ Lee, said that WrestleMania is her home. But at the same time, she's overriding the fact, or completely ignoring the fact, that she doesn't have that moment without AJ Lee breaking down those barriers and having the matches that she did have and advocating for the women to have better. So you have a legend in AJ going up against a person who is the representative of everything that she fought for in terms of the future of women's wrestling. So I'm pumped about this match. So Bianca, give your prediction. Who do you
I
think is going to win?
I have been thinking about I've been thinking long and hard no about this, and I have been always been thinking I always feel like Paige will return to help AJ win. Because she has been talking about wanting to um fight wanting to be in a match with Paige, and she posted on her story, and uh, um, AJ posted a video about Paige. She's been talking about it, and Caitlyn too. So one of them might come back to help AJ retain. That's my that's my.
Okay.
I really,
Well,
I really do think that will happen. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, because the hype around it, and Paige hyping it up too. Not just the WrestleMania, but for WrestleMania, but like her return, a return to WWE with
mm-hmm.
her videos in um practicing in wrestling rings. So yeah, I really do think Paige will return. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a pretty valid prediction. Of course, if we don't know exactly what could happen because WrestleMania is or can be full of surprises. I know Becky has been known to not be above cheating, so of course, she tried to cheat to even try to retain the women's intercontinental title at Elimination Chamber. So you never know exactly what could happen with that. It would be cool if the Chick Busters got back together and, decided to sort of keep keep things even with Becky Lynch and AJ. But I think my prediction is that AJ Lee will retain simply because this is her first Mania back in so long. And also because on a very personal level, from a fan perspective, I'm not entirely interested in seeing Becky hold the IC title anymore. Um, I personally would like it better if AJ were able, of course, her schedule permitting. I would have liked it better if AJ had more time to fight with other competitors besides her. Because I feel like Becky has done just about everything she could possibly do with that mid card title, and I do appreciate the fact that her big name being attached to this brand new title is good for it and the health of it. But I kind of want to see AJ Lee fight against or feud against someone else after WrestleMania for that title, like maybe Raquel Rodriguez or maybe Roxanne Perez now that she's come back. Um, like that's something else that I would like to see. I want to see her fight more people, more women. And then of course, you never know, after Mania there could be more call-ups from NXT. I want to see AJ actually have a run with the title that's a little bit longer than that and actually see her fight newer opponents who have probably dreamed of facing off against AJ their entire careers. Um I want to see, and then on top of that, like, I don't know. I just want AJ to win. So I'm predicting AJ Lee will retain because I still feel like there are uncharted waters with her holding the title.
Me too. And I'm not, and no shade to Becky. I've met I met both of them. They were both so kind and sweet. I'll never forget. But yeah, yeah, my loyalties are with AJ forever.
Yeah,
So AJ retains. Love you,
AJ
Becky,
retains.
but
Love you,
AJ.
Becky, but
Yeah,
AJ. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. And next on the docket to predict, we have the four. Well, it's not a. It's we have the women's tag team championship fatal 4-way match between Charlexa, Bay Lyra, the Irresistible Forces, Nia Jackson, Lash Legend, who are the current women's tag team champions, and the Bella Twins, permitting Nikki is okay from having her ankle rolled in that one match. I'm excited for this because I'm always happy to see the women's tag team titles defended. And all of these women collectively have made the women's tag team title scene more and more um exciting to watch over the past couple of months. And I actually would have loved it if this were a ladder match, but honestly, it's okay that it isn't. I feel like the ladder match that's happening for the men's intercontinental title could have gone to this, but then again, that's just me being crazy. Um, I love seeing Lash and Nia hold the titles for now, but I think I'm going to predict that all health, the Bellas are going to win the tag titles.
Hmm.
I think it's the Bellas' time, honestly. And if you really, get down to the brass tacks of it, when it comes to um just the history of women's wrestling as a whole, in terms of modern in the past 10 to 15 years, they really were like the tag team that we've been the most familiar with, who never had a chance at those titles because those titles did not exist during their initial runs. So I am definitely a fan of them winning. So I'm predicting that the Bella twins will win the women's tag team titles. And I'm also predicting that Bailey might crash out on Lyra because of it. So that's my prediction. Bianca, what's yours?
I don't know. I just think that the Irresistible Forces will retain.
Hmm.
And the Bella twins winning too. Ugh. Yeah, there's something about the Irresistible Forces I just can't get my mind away from. They haven't been champions for a while.
Right.
So losing it now would not be right. Just with
Yeah.
Last Legend, no, no.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would not be right for my soul. That would not be right. But if it in the event that it does happen, I, um, I think, yeah, I'm with you. I think the Bella Twins will win. We've had, I I love Charlotte and Alexa, and I love Bailey and Lyra. Give someone a chance. Give allow the forces to retain just a little bit longer, because they actually look good with them, and they actually make good champions, and their storylines are funny and hilarious, and they look good, and I feel a crash out coming between, if not with um uh Alexa and Charlotte, then definitely with Bailey and Lyra. Bailey has already started the crash outs in the past,
Yeah.
but but it stopped. So I think that will come out again. Yeah, I think Irresistible Forces retain. And yeah,
Okay.
just somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, that's valid because they really have not been champions for that long. So I definitely get your point there. Um, so I get your point. I definitely get your point. And it would be great for them if they did retain, especially with this being Lash's first WrestleMania. It would be really cool. Um, but yeah, I think this is just where we agree to disagree. But of course, it's a wait and see type of thing. So,
Yeah.
but either way, I'm very excited. And I do love Charlotte and Alexa Bliss together. I never get tired of seeing them together. I almost never don't want them to break up at this point. But you just never know. But
What if
my pick is the Bella Twins to win the thing. So
you imagine Ric Flair comes out to
oh
help?
god. I don't I
He's done that.
Men should stay out of women's business. That's
True.
my
Agreed.
take on that.
Yeah.
And speaking of men staying out of women's business, somebody who doesn't seem to want to ever truly follow that rule a good portion of the time. We're here to give our predictions on Liv Morgan versus Stephanie HWP for the Women's World Championship. This is a match that the fandom is arguing should actually main event night one, just because of the pure intensity of hatred that has come from these women. You also have Liv doubling down on her privilege and also on the fact that she has the Judgment Day as backup. You have Stephanie HWP, who is just not afraid to get in her face and beat her up and even break her face. Y'all saw what she did with Liv backstage in their clubhouse and how she broke the TV with her. Like, these women have just been bringing it throughout this entire feud. And Also, shout out to Liv in that music video. It's so funny because when I first saw the flashes of that video, I thought for sure it was going to be like a feature with the Raiderettes, who are the dance team of the Las Vegas Raiders, but then it wasn't, and it turned out to be a music video. And it was cute, but I'm predicting that Stephanie Vaquer will retain simply because of the fact that this is her first WrestleMania. Number two, it was just last year where she was the NXT Women's Champion, and she was a part of the announcement of the acquisition of AAA by WWE. And for her to be a part of it is absolutely awesome. I just feel like there's here again something more to her being champion that I feel like is I'm just not ready. Actually, on a personal level, I'm just not ready to see her lose because I'm all for Stephanie supremacy.
Same.
I'm biased. I'm very biased, but you know, I'm predicting that Stephanie Vaquer will retain simply because I feel like Liv Morgan has too much dip on her chip, and she feels like all of the outside things are going to intimidate Stephanie, and it's not going to be enough. So that's my prediction. Stephanie Vaquer will retain. Bianca
I
was.
I agree. And that music video that Liv Morgan put out, oh my god. I don't think I was familiar with her game. She gave Kesha, she gave Pop Star realness, she gave Britney. Oh my god, she can dance. Wow, I am surprised. When I saw that, I didn't I didn't know what it was. And then you told me to watch it. I was like, oh, okay. And then what I watched it twice.
Wow.
Wow, like, and she incorporated like she can really hold a tune. She can really dance. I'm impressed. Wow. And this is all a part of the storyline. That's amazing. That is
Yeah.
so cool. Whoever is the choreographer, whoever is the director and cinematographer for that music video deserves a raise because that that's amazing. Like Liv Morgan gave main character realness. She gave pop star. Wow. If she ever, I don't know if she does music, has any more songs, but if she ever decides to do this, like put out more music, like oh my god, the world is her, the world is her oyster, as they say. It was really good. Wow, it was. I I I I actually enjoyed it. It was
Yeah.
so. It was, yeah.
The thing that I found the most interesting about the song was the fact that it was elements of her theme song. Like if you I guess because I'm a music nerd, it's just like when I listened to it a second time, it really sounded like it really was like a amplified version of her theme song.
Yeah.
So that's something that I did appreciate about it. And then of course with all the interviews that she has been doing, and then with her also being on the cover of Paper Magazine,
Uh-huh.
to coincide with Dominic Mysterio's cover as well. I just feel like there's a level of crossover appeal that of course she does have, but at the same time, I feel like all of this is sort of feeding into the notion that she feels like she's bigger than life, and I feel like she's going to be humbled real quick in that ring. So Stephanie Vaquer is my pick to retain the championship. Um, and that's just how I feel about the situation because Liv has just been having too much dip on her chip. But eventually, when you put too much dip on your chip, the chip is going to break. So, yeah, it's going to break. Stephanie supremacy.
Yes, all day. Oh, and then Stephanie brings back her entrance song. The only
Oh,
entrance song that matters because what is that?
okay. I don't know. But we're going to move into the men of night one. And of course, this match is going to kick off the hour that's going to be on ESPN2. This is a 6-man tag team match with the tag team champions, The Vision, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory, and the debuting I Show Speed going up against Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, and LA Knight. Yeah. Bianca, who's your pick?
Usos, Jay, and LA. Simple. Do I even have? We don't need to. Do we have to discuss this? We don't need to discuss.
I mean, we technically do have to discuss it. It's a part of the card. So I know you might not necessarily want to. Nobody's really fully looking forward to it because they have their feelings, and I understand they're all valid. But because this is a professional podcast, we do have to give our opinion.
Okay. So my
So
prediction is LA Knight and the Usos dominate, destroy, annihilate, and do their thing. Do their job. And don't get me mad because because they will win. And yeah.
you know who you sound like right now? You sound like RuPaul from RuPaul's Drag Race. And she was like, look, Team Usos, good luck and don't F it up. That's what you sound like.
There it is.
I feel like I'm gonna give two predictions. I'm gonna actually predict that the Usos and LA Knight are going to win, but I'm also gonna predict that I Show Speed is gonna surprise the crap out of us with his wrestling ability. Because he's very athletic as a whole. So I'm ready for him to wow us. And I hope he just doesn't get beat down the way he did at the Royal Rumble last year, because that was crazy.
I'm ready.
So yeah.
I'm ready for whatever the actual speed is to give Logan Paul a black eye.
Yeah, because he has been putting him through a lot. So I agree.
Because he deserves it. But yeah, my vote is for the Usos and LA Knight to win. Yeah.
Yeah. But I am excited about I Show Speed too. So I think it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine for honestly what it is. I was very surprised to find out that the tag team titles weren't going to be defended on here, but this is, this kind of feeds into like the glamour of the box office appeal of WrestleMania, so I'm okay with it. So here we are. Yeah. Now, of course, we have the unsanctioned match between Jacob Fatu, who was victorious at last year's WrestleMania, winning the United States Championship, versus Drew McIntyre, the certified crash out of the WWE. I'm predicting that Jacob Fatu is going to win. Because with this being an unsanctioned match and with there being really no rules here, I feel like Jacob Fatu is going to unleash a level of savagery that we haven't seen from him, and it's just going to be crazy considering Drew keeps trying to make fun of him being, a savage and also being a former, convicted person. I think Jacob is going to be like, oh, you think I'm crazy, bet, and then destroy him. So I'm predicting Jacob Fatu is going to win.
Yeah, me too. A lot of mess will happen and a lot of chaos will ensue, and I'm very excited to see what Jacob Fatu has to do. I need to see the wiggle. I need that. I need flips. I need the whole bit. I need the werewolf to win, and no one to well. Why do I feel like Solo will interfere with his turtleneck and his gloves? I think so. I don't like that.
You never know. He just might, because he, as it stands now, Solo does not have a match, but then he did have that interaction with Jacob last Friday, so you might be hitting on something right there. I don't know, but yeah, there's that part too. So it's a lot of layers to that, but
yeah,
you can never bet against Jacob.
No.
Yeah.
No. Oh.
I think it's Jacob's time. Yeah, that I mean.
Yes.
Now, this match was very surprising in its execution when they announced it, because it was rumored that maybe Braun Breaker would be making his return, but he has yet to be seen. So when I saw Gunther attack Seth Rollins, I got scared and got PTSD. I thought Seth was going to tell us that he was getting ready to retire, and I was going to start crying and throwing up because I'm tired of these retirements. But Seth is back and cleared to compete, so now he has this WrestleMania match against Gunther. Gunther essentially said he just wants to beat him because of their past history with the World Heavyweight Championship. You know, they got in each other's face. Seth Rollins unlocked a level of anger and passion that we haven't seen from him since that one time he was fighting against Triple H at WrestleMania as the Kingslayer. So I'm hyped for this match, even though it was unexpected. I'm predicting Seth to win.
Yeah. Yeah, beat that fish. Yeah,
Even though he did win last year in one of the craziest moments of life, period. But I don't know. But I'm predicting Seth is going to win.
Yeah. With no help from Paul Heyman.
I feel like if anything, Paul Heyman will try to like screw him over.
Right? Oh God. Ooh. Oh, because he did with Roman. Oh, he will give him a low blow. Ooh.
Yeah, it's gonna be a mess if that's the case. I feel like if anything, if Seth does lose, it will be due to shenanigans from Paul Heyman.
Yeah. Yeah, because he broke up the vision.
Yeah, what if Braun hasn't been back in all this time because they have him in hiding for this? So you never know. Like it's crazy. It would be crazy if I feel like if Seth does not win, it will be due to shenanigans.
Yeah.
But yeah,
because
and then Gunther will win.
Or
Yeah, and
Braun Breaker. Yeah. Oh my God.
And then Gunther will take credit for it because he's like, yeah, I defeated him, but now you had help. And yeah, I think craziness could ensue with this one.
And then
Because he has unfinished business. Yeah.
And then Gunther will say, you tapped out like a little bee. Like,
I don't want to hear it. As long as he can say whatever he wants to, as long as he doesn't retire, Seth. That's just all I care about.
Right.
I'm tired of the retirements. Please. If another person retires, I'm just going to go to the hospital and just stay there.
Oh, no.
I'm going to have a psychotic break. No. Because I can't deal with it. I'm tired.
Me too.
Yeah. And finally, the most polarizing match of the WrestleMania card. For the undisputed WWE Championship, we have Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, the battle of the generational wrestlers for the undisputed WWE Championship. This is main eventing night one. But it has the added caveat that if Cody Rhodes wins this match, then Pat McAfee, who it can be argued does not have any place in this match whatsoever, will leave professional wrestling for good. But of course, if Randy does win, he'll win his 15th world title, which people do want for him. But I don't want it like this.
Same.
I don't want it like this. I don't want it like this. I wish Pat McAfee would have just been left out of it. I know today Cody Rhodes went and got his championship back and tore up the set of the Pat McAfee show.
Oh, he did? Oh my God.
He did that. Yeah, he did that earlier today, and that was interesting and very funny. But my thing is, I feel like Pat really has no place in this match. There was enough story and enough history that could have fed into this match happening to begin with without the added piece of Pat McAfee. Yeah. I'm predicting Cody Rhodes is going to retain because I'm manifesting like him retaining it, because watching Cody Rhodes lose at WrestleMania 2 years in a row is something I do not want in my life. And I just need Cody Rhodes to just do the right thing and kick Randy's butt and kick Pat McAfee's butt so that we can go on and move on to the things that we actually love and actually care about. Go Bianca, I'm sorry.
Okay. Because initially I did not mind Pat McAfee coming out and beating up Cody Rhodes.
Why?
I don't know, because I like I really truly like Patrick McAfee from Indianapolis or from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. By way of yeah. Anyway, but I generally do like him, and like I am because like I want Randy to win his 15th title, and I've been a Randy fan since 2011, so he has a special place in my heart for that, and I really want him to finish his story. But then seeing people's reactions with Pat McAfee definitely made me change my perspective because, like, yeah, like it wasn't necessary for him to be involved, and because like I wanted it to be just those two. I was looking for I was looking for that, but this was before I realized that he's actually in the match. So that like kind of like I don't want to say bored me or turned me off, but it didn't turn me off, but like it was just I do wish that it didn't happen like that. There's too many celebrities in our world right now. But I generally do like Pat McAfee. I think he's hilarious. I love his commentary. I his ring announcing of Drew McIntyre and Finn Balor are it's in my brain. What's shout out to Sub? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I just yeah.
See, my thing is, I would generally like Pat McAfee too when he was. I liked Pat McAfee when he was being a fan and he was just genuinely just happy to be there. But him as the character that Randy was talking to on the phone that was advising him was
Yeah,
not something that I was prepared for. And it just fell flat to me. Because over the course of the last couple of weeks, it was Randy sort of alluding by saying, oh, wrestling has more than one royal family,
yeah,
and that he could have been talking to somebody else, you know, who could have been a part of a wrestling royal family. But
right,
for it to be Pat just kind of caught me off guard. And I
yeah,
just don't like a heel Pat McAfee. Like, mind you, he's been playing the role of a heel perfectly, but I just don't like him as a heel because I would prefer him as a happy face guy, and
yeah,
all the above. And then also with him saying all the things that he said Friday about calling wrestling fans needy because, you know, they were calling for lower ticket prices and talking about how Cody has been leading WWE down the wrong path and how it's not what it used to be and all these things. Like those things were just very off-putting and I didn't like it because WWE has been relatively successful since Cody Rhodes has been, you know, QB1. So all of that was just really annoying for me. So honestly, I feel like they really could have just left him out of this whole thing, honestly.
yeah.
I have no problems with Pat being a fan of the product and everything else like that and being a baby face, but him as a heel was just really like, what the heck, bro? But
There were
yeah,
times where I almost unfollowed him on Instagram.
I'm just gonna need for I just want Cody to retain the title.
Yeah. Oh, now we shall see.
Yep, we shall see. We definitely shall see. So yeah, that's all of the night one predictions. Night one is shaping up to be pretty awesome. I'm really excited about it. And then we have night two, which has a lot at stake as well. So we're moving on to night two. Um with our one
Oh,
woman's match that's on here, which is interesting. I will say there's more women's matches on Saturday than there are on Sunday. It's interesting that we were talking about Tiffany Stratton earlier being the women's champion last year, all for her to not be on the card this year. And then you also have the added weirdness of Julia and the Women's United States Championship not being on the card too. It's just I feel like there are just other, and then you also have Io and Asuka and their supposed feud that had gotten started, and now that's not being a part of the Mania card either. Now, mind you, I know they're going to have the SmackDown before WrestleMania, and you do have to have people there for that. But at the same time, it just feels very awkward to not have more than one women's match on both nights. But we move Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. This is a match I'm very excited about because these are two of the biggest women stars in WWE battling against each other with pride, ego, and all of the looks and all of the everything for the WWE Women's Championship. It's interesting because last year we saw Jade battle it out with Naomi. And now here we are. And then you had Rhea having a stellar triple threat match with Bianca and Io last year. It's very interesting all the things that can happen within a year. But my prediction is that Rhea Ripley is going to win. As much as I love Jade Cargill as a Black woman and I want to see her succeed and do all the great things despite all of the haters, no matter what the haters say, I love Jade Cargill, love her down. Rhea Ripley is who I believe is going to win and become the new women's champion.
I think, and I've been thinking about this for days now. I really think Naomi will return to be a distraction for, if Jade wins, she will come back and say, "Oh, this is mine. I'm coming for that title." Or yeah. I don't know. I love them both, and this is a really hard match to predict who will win because I love them both. Ugh. Yeah, I want Jade to win, but I think someone will come and distract. I don't know. But she has BFAB and Michin. I forgot about them. I don't know. It's hard to tell right now. But I do think a woman will win this.
Okay. A woman will win. Yes, that's a funny prediction to make. Yes, a woman is gonna win. But I don't know how ready Naomi is. Because on YouTube, there was this, in the midst of all the press that every wrestler or just about every wrestler is doing for WrestleMania, the Usos did a Hot Ones video where Jay may have let it slip that Naomi had the baby with Jimmy. So congrats to them for that. So I'm not entirely sure we'll see an appearance from Naomi just yet. Because it takes time to recover from that level of thing. I guess it just depends. But I'm just predicting that Rhea is gonna win, honestly, because it just feels like that's just what's gonna happen for me. And I would love it if Jade retained. That would be really cool. But I just feel like you just can't deny Rhea.
Right.
Yeah, you just can't deny Rhea at this point. So, and then of course, she does have Io, who could come out and help even things up with the baddies with Michin and BFAB.
But she can turn on her.
She could, but you just never know. But yeah, I just think it's Rhea. Yeah. Or in your case, a woman.
Exactly.
All the women win. So, moving on to the men of night 2. We have a 6-pack ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. Penta will be defending his IC title against JD McDonough of the Judgment Day in his first WrestleMania. Dragon Lee, Javon Evans in his first WrestleMania. The legendary Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio, and Rusev. This is hard to predict, but I'm just going to say it. If Javon Evans doesn't win, I'll be sad. So, my prediction is Javon Evans. But if he doesn't win, I'll be sad.
I agree. If he doesn't win, then I hope Penta wins.
Yeah, at the very least, if Penta does retain, then I won't be mad about that at all. But Javon is just my heavy favorite to win. Absolutely.
With all the hype and lore around him. Yeah. I think yeah. And also JD looks like Roman Reigns here. He looks like big dog Roman Reigns. Oh my god. He actually looks good. Oh my goodness.
Let's agree to disagree. I will say this though, I am happy that Rey Mysterio is back in ring shape. I feel like he's gonna do some crazy stunts. I feel like the one guarantee we have in this entire match is that we are gonna see some crazy stunts take place.
Leaping off the ladders, jumping, high rope.
Jumping off the ropes, look, tables are gonna be broken. Like,
Lots of
I'm
hurricanranas,
excited.
DDTs, Meteora.
Right. It's gonna be sick with all of these men in here. Yeah, it's gonna be sick, but I'm definitely predicting that Javon Evans is gonna win.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just my odds-on favorite.
Can we see his OG Crusher off the ladder?
Yeah. Oh God.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Javon is winning. Come on. Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. This is another polarizing match for the United States Championship. You have Sami Zayn going one-on-one with the innovator of 1-800-WHOOP-DAT, Trick Williams. I'm just gonna say that I really feel like if by the end of this weekend, if Trick Williams gets attacked from behind by somebody, and if it's Carmelo Hayes, I will support it because I support Carmelo Hayes' rights and wrongs. But if that doesn't happen, I'm predicting that Trick Williams is going to win the United States Championship. Because honestly, I feel like Carmelo Hayes should be in this match and this should be a triple threat. Because it just doesn't make sense to me for Carmelo to have lost the way that he did and for him to not be at WrestleMania because he wasn't on the card last year when he could have been, and now he's not on the card, and it just doesn't make sense to me. It's an injustice.
Yeah.
But if nothing changes between now and Sunday, I'm predicting Trick Williams is going to win the United States Championship.
I think so too. And if Sami Zayn wins, and I've been holding out hope for this for a long time since all that happened, but I think if Sami Zayn wins, it's because of the help of Kevin Owens.
Oh, wow.
Because I thought that he faked his injury last year.
I thought he faked it?
Yeah, I thought
I
thought it was part of the story. I thought he faked the injury. So
other people did think he faked it too. So I understand what you're saying. Now that I'm remembering, there were people who did think he was faking, because he was supposed to fight Randy, but then it didn't happen because of that injury, and people thought, oh well, the surprise person was going to be Kevin, all for it to be Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, that would create a whole other chapter in the book of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. That would be interesting. But if that did happen that way.
But if Sami does lose, he'll still be in the ring, and then Kevin comes out to comfort him. That because he can't beat him up again. No, that was horrible. So I think Kevin Owens returns on Sunday, one way or another, that day.
But specifically, who do you have to win the match?
Did I not choose a winner? Oh my God!
I don't think you did.
Oh my God! I think I'm with Trick Williams on this one. Yeah, definitely Trick. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Chick wins for sure. Because if he
Yeah.
doesn't, I don't. That wouldn't be right.
Yeah, it wouldn't necessarily be right, but and then, it would be cool. It would solidify his star power a whole lot more. But I would
Yeah.
also like to, and I will also repeat, if Carmelo wants to attack him from behind like he did in NXT that time, I support it. Um so yeah. Moving forward, we also have Demon Finn versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio, the Judgment Day Civil War. I'm predicting Demon Finn is going to win. Dominic has no clue. He's out of his depth. I'm sorry to say that, but he's out of his depth. I'm predicting Demon Finn is going to win.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, we
Demon,
can agree to that.
yeah, Demon Fiend wins.
But I'm very pumped to see Demon Finn because it's been a while.
Yeah. It really has.
It
Oh
really
my god.
has been a while.
And
Yeah, it's been too long, honestly.
I had a thought. Oh my god. And just, yeah, seeing all the moves they have because they can fly. They can. I'm excited to
Yeah,
see.
athletically the match is going to be fire. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see Dominic get scared and acting crazy.
Yeah. It's going to be funny. It's really going to be funny. And I also would like to just give kudos to WWE and their creative team for making this sort of like a continuation from last year, because I do believe it was last year at WrestleMania where Dominic covered Finn to win the Intercontinental title. So this is going to be interesting. Or at least he pushed him out of the way when it could have been Finn winning the match and then Dominic won and then Finn kind of swallowed that. So I think that's a pretty cool continuation of that tension along with the other tensions that they have had over the past few months. So I'm pumped about it. It's going to be cool. But I've got Demon Finn for the win.
I got him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
NXT Black and Gold forever.
I'm leather girl. I'm leather jacket.
Now, if you're watching this live, you're probably wondering why there is a giant drink here. And this represents me creating a safe space for people watching this show. And also the type of drink I'm going to need if a certain person does not win this match. This is Obafemi versus Pumpkinhead Brock Lesnar. We are all in agreement that after the promo that Obafemi cut Monday, we want him to win. I'm predicting Obafemi will win and skyrocket his stardom and his overness into overdrive.
Took the words out of my mouth. I agree. And he's of Nigerian descent, and so am I. So a Nigerian winning this will mean a lot to me. So, and he's literally little brother, even though he looks like he's in his 30s. What? So yeah, that promo his mic work has improved a lot, and it showed on Monday. And yeah, amazing. Oba wins. Period.
Yeah,
And I've been
Oba
saying
wins.
this for the last hour. I've been saying, and I will go and repeat myself when I say this: if he doesn't win, it would not be right.
Mm-hmm.
It really would. I'll be mad. No, they can't. No. Oba wins. Period.
Yep. Now, I have seen some people's theories of them saying that they feel like if Oba does not win, that they see him and Pumpkinhead having a feud that feeds into SummerSlam, which would be in the beginning of August in Minneapolis, which is also 2 nights. But honestly, I just don't even want to stretch. I don't want them to even stretch this that far. The stars are too aligned for Obafemi right now to have him lose at the Rumble and not win the Rumble, and then also lose at WrestleMania and his first one at that when everybody is the iron is just too hot.
Yeah.
It's just too hot. There are just certain things in life that are just simple, and over winning is simple.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes all you have to do is keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Right.
Oba is winning.
Yes. It's the right thing to do.
And if he doesn't win, I will be drinking.
I will be. Well, I'll tell you. But
We're grown. We're grown. We're all grown. We're grown, Bianca. We're
if
grown.
Oba loses, we ride.
If Oba loses, I'm drinking.
Yeah.
And I'm turning my phone off.
Come on.
The phone is off.
You're gonna be like the mad guys who just bums the TV screen after a football game.
The phone will just be off. But yeah, we're rooting for Oba here.
Yeah.
And finally, we have the main event of night 2, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. Or, in the case of some little kids at home, I couldn't help it.
That was the best day of my life. Oh my god. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my god. Wow. Wow, you really did it. Wow.
My boyfriend is watching. Hi, babe. He's saying, wow. Exactly. Y'all know I'm a clown. Y'all know I'm a clown. If you haven't learned this about me by now, then well, I'm a clown. I'm a clown and I love Disney. So anytime I can intertwine the things, I'm happy. Plus, not to mention tonight, like they have Lin-Manuel Miranda doing one of the cold opens. They have Joe Jonas singing the national. Yeah, they got Joe Jonas singing the national anthem on night 2. Disney kids are eating from this WrestleMania. So hey, Zebros. This WrestleMania is brought to you by Disney. Okay, I love it. Both of my fandoms have deserved to come together this long. Now, if we could just get Vanessa Hudgens in a match, I'm in there.
Right? Oh my god.
But back to all right. Let's get back to business, y'all. We've had fun. We've had our fun. We've had our fun.
I love how you I love how you mentioned Mulan just now.
Oh yeah. Zootopia. Yes. To defeat Roman. Okay. Yeah. I'm predicting that CM Punk needs to retain this. He needs to retain because he lost last year at Mania, and I don't want to see him lose at Mania again in another main event. I'm sorry. Punk has to retain this title. Otherwise, Roman's going to win the title and we're never going to see it again. And that will defeat the purpose of what that title was created for. So, I'm predicting CM Punk Zebro is going to win. What do you think, Bianca?
Well, after a long and hard thought and about this match and who is fighting in this match, it has been very hard to choose just one. But well, I lost it. Whatever. I gotta go with my hero, you know? I gotta go with my hero, the king of the pipe bomb, the best on the mic commentary in the ring. If he doesn't win, oh my god, I can't. Oh my gosh. If CM Punk does not win, I will not use his government name because I respect him so much. But if CM Punk is winning, and with no interferences, no, Paul Heyman, get out. No interferences. I can't take another interference. I can't take another low blow. I can't take any of that this year. No, just leave them. Just let them fight. Let CM Punk win. But why do I think there will be an interference though? Oh God.
I don't know, man.
Isn't John Cena hosting?
I mean, but he might. I don't see him retaining in this. I don't see John Cena interfering in this. I
You
don't.
don't.
I don't, simply because of the fact that he has no dog in this fight. He's retired. Why would he need to?
So did Seth. So did John Stewart. But
I mean,
remember,
but this is not that regime though. So I don't think that's gonna. I don't think John Cena is. I don't think they're really. If there's going to be any interference from anybody, I feel like I see it being the Usos, or maybe even any other person from from Roman's family, maybe. But then I don't even see that, considering CM Punk apologized to Roman's face Monday. So I don't even see that. I don't know. I just feel like this really might be just a simple thing, and it really might just be them beating each other until somebody just can't get up anymore. Maybe.
Yeah. Again, we shall see.
But
we should see how Punk wins.
Yes, we shall see how Punk wins. But that's the main event, and that's night 2, and there's really exciting stuff happening. I know there's stuff that people really wish wasn't happening about it, but hopefully the positives will outweigh the negatives, and everything will be fine, and we'll be okay. And if all else fails, we'll always have yeah.
Have you seen Sophia too?
I have not. I just know the fact that they're in it.
Me too.
That's all I know. But we have reached the end of our time together. This has been fun. This has been a very special WrestleMania episode. So I hope everyone is having we'll have a great weekend, and be safe and enjoy WrestleMania in the best ways possible, and not be toxic and stuff. I hope everyone who's in Vegas will be safe, stay hydrated because it's hot out there. And just have all the best fun, and just remember why you love wrestling in the first place. And yeah, we've reached the end of our time together. So Bianca, thank you so much for joining me, and just tell everybody where they can find and follow you and what you've got going on.
Well, I don't really have much going on, honestly, but if you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, my personal is Bianca Addison. And if you would like to follow my ring announcing journey, I haven't posted anything on Instagram for a while. But if you would like to follow and support my ring announcing journey, you can follow my Instagram at Ebony Rose Ringside. That's EBONIROSE Ringside. And yeah, I can support my ring announcing journey there. And nothing really going on, but I'm really happy. I'm still a part of this amazing podcast, and this was a really fun episode, and thank you. Will never suffice.
Oh, well, you're welcome. And I'm so happy to have you be a part of it. I'm happy that you still want to be a part of the show. And this was a really great episode to do. And I'm so happy that we've bonded over our love of WrestleMania and all of the things. This is my first time really sharing a space and talking about WrestleMania, because this is actually my first time being at home for a WrestleMania in like 3 years. So so this is just really fun to just sit and just talk about it from comfort, and not just from work. So
Yeah,
it's really fun, and I really appreciate it.
I
So
have yet to go to my first WrestleMania. It's been at home for the
yay.
past 10 plus years.
Well, hopefully, you'll be able to go like to another one because bro, they're fun. They're
I'm
awesome.
sure.
I
Yeah.
I recommend anyone attending a WrestleMania. Ticket prices be damned. Make it happen. Life is too short. So know that you can follow me, your girl Stephanie Hardy, on Instagram and Twitter at Queen Steph Hardy. You can follow the show, The Hardy Wrestling Podcast, on Instagram at Hardy Wrestling Podcast, and on Twitter at Hardy Wrestle Pod. You can also subscribe to the show, The Hardy Wrestling Podcast, with the logo HWP with in the middle of a diamond shaped ring, with Hardy Wrestling Podcast on it. Subscribe to the channel, repost, copy links, share anytime you see something or any clips and stuff. And also just be on the lookout for more things and more announcements. And of course, I actually do have something going on this Friday. I have the honor of being on commentary during WrestleMania weekend for Retinal Pro Wrestling here in Birmingham, Alabama, celebrating their 3rd anniversary with their obligatory 3-year anniversary show. I will be on commentary with Ezra Miller, and it's going to be great. We have championship gold on the line with Noah Vale defending their brand new retinal heavyweight championship. And we also have Kenzie Page from NWA and various other places participating in intergender action. So it's going to be really cool. And
Wow.
I'm just really proud to be a part of this promotion. And I'm really honored to get to work in my hometown during WrestleMania weekend for this. So it's going to be really cool. And I'm happy about it. Support your indies always. And support the indies that's having shows during WrestleMania weekend too in Vegas. Because it takes a lot to put stuff like that together. So please support the stars of the future, because you never know who you might see on your TV. You might wind up seeing the stars of the future in your local indie.
Shout
So
out to that name, Noah Vale. Oh
support
my God.
them. Yeah, Noah Vale is fantastic.
That's an
They
amazing name.
they are absolutely fantastic. So
Okay.
yeah, the
Wait, so
non-binary icon.
Noah Vale. That's so great. Oh, I love it.
Right. So, of course, this has been the Hardy Wrestling Podcast with your girls, Stephanie Hardy and Bianca Addison. Please enjoy WrestleMania this weekend, y'all. And until next time, bye, y'all.
Bye.
Happy Mania weekend.
Eat Wendy's this weekend.